Okay.
Now I've got to ask you.
I just realised something.
Appropriate or inappropriate for today?
I just realised I probably should have used the alternative intro after
for this one.
Yeah,
probably.
I just didn't think about it.
Yes,
so
let's
that's probably the most inappropriate start to a stream I've done.
Very, very topical though.
Very topical.
Yeah. And hello, Ricardo.
Hi, Ricardo.
Yeah. So this has been a bit impromptu. So we've got a few friends in. I have Jen, Sam, Hops, who I'll just unmute. And I've basically called the stream 2021. You had one job to do. You had one fucking job, and that was not be as shit as 2020. And
well, you know it was overreaching, don't you?
Yeah, it's more like 2021 looked at 2020 and said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
So I did say, didn't I, that the first 3 months are just going to be 2021 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, but I mean,
well, you have to have a transition period, don't you?
Exactly. I'm still trying to be optimistic. I mean, this could actually be a sign of some change. I mean,
think this is
and maybe something good will come out of it. I mean,
I feel like this is the tipping point where it starts to slowly get better now.
Right.
I do like the outcome that in the end it ended up being Pence having to take a stand against Trump to say, no, I am going to call in the National Guard. I'm going to make the statements that you as president should have done.
It's a good script, isn't it?
Hey, Donna.
So I think that's a good thing.
Have you seen Pence? Have you seen the thing going around of Pence where his banner had been changed to be an image of Biden and Harris?
Nope.
And I feel like it was almost certainly photoshopped, and if not, he's changed it back now.
Yeah,
but it was certainly amusing.
I think it was all a bit crazy, to say the least. And I know last night I was fuming when Donald Trump went out and did that thing on Twitter, and when he released that short, minute-long video on Twitter, and I'm like, this is not calling for calm. This is just inciting this shit evermore.
I'm glad that Twitter took them down, but I think some of his conspiracy nuts are going to take that as him trying to be silenced. And I've already heard several.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is probably no. He doesn't. This seems a lot to do with his own ego. He doesn't like to lose.
I mean, it's to the point that some of his Republican backers in the Senate yesterday started calling out his bullshit. So I think he's gone so far that as much as it is too little, too late. Too little, too late. He's reached a point where he's pushed his own supporters away by being too egotistical.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a month ago, I'm thinking was about the time that they probably should have declared him incapable of governing, and Pence should have just taken over as temporary president.
Well, after sort of staying up, I probably was stayed up to probably it was gone 1 a.m. anyway. After a ring stream had finished, and I was talking to Noodle, chat for 8 for about an hour or two, and it was just thought get some sleep. I'm waking up, so they started the count thing again, and and I think it was more or less it was more or less getting to the end, and it was officially declared that Biden and Harris had won. It was it was official, and it was interesting because I was watching. I think this morning I was watching In Time, Nick Suda's channel, and he'd been up like for 13 hours straight streaming, covering this. And
I know a few people did that.
Just as he was about to wrap up the stream, I kind of made him go another half an hour, because I sort of figured on Twitter that there was a statement from Trump that he was basically saying he's sort of backed down. He said there will be a peaceful transfer. He's not conceded defeat as such, because he's still saying he's not conceded defeat, but he's
he actually went on to say afterwards he would not concede defeat because he still thought he won.
Yeah, he's not.
He is accepting that accepting that the Congress has declared Biden the winner. He has not accepted that he's lost.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
And Ricardo saying his supporters are asking him to join Parler. But Gramsci, by the way, this is one time. That name we don't tend to utter on this channel. We don't tend to cover her. Just saying.
Don't even know who she is.
And I'm being honest. She used to be involved with Non Sequitur show back in the day, and was. That's a long story, but But she is
an odd bud.
She's a strange one. We'll just say about that.
She's a strange one. Katie Joy.
Yeah, definitely.
This, however, is good stuff. And I just opened the can. I was opening the can over on the table. I could smell it all the way from there.
Cool. Fair. I'm currently on discount dark fruits.
Let's. Do you want to show you that beer again, there, Hobbs?
Sure. Just a sec. I'll
just make a full screen for this.
It's a gift from a. It's a gift from someone who wants to remain anonymous. So the person will. It's a double dry hop India Pale Ale from Innsbruck, and I mean I love India Pale Ales. Not much else to say.
It's a shame we don't actually. Sorry, Hobbs. It's a shame we don't actually have an American in here, or somebody who knows a bit about American law, because I would have thought Trump trying to stir up the crowd that's storming the Capitol is basically treason.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know legally because I wouldn't know legally where a charge like that would stand on something like that. It's without a doubt, it's incitement.
I've heard American friends say it's acts of sedition, but I haven't checked them on that.
Yeah, I'd need someone who's a bit more legally up on the law to But I thought it was interesting that there were Republicans in the Congress yesterday who were shouting about impeachment now.
Mm-hmm.
After that, and those. I mean, and you look at it, the actual, those Republicans who were causing trouble in there yesterday, just delaying the inevitable. Just absolutely delaying the inevitable was the fact that they were there when that happened. Someone like Ted Cruz could have at least tried to go and calm them down. He's one of their people. He could have tried to calm them down.
But he went on about it. He wanted it. Ted Cruz.
I think the other thing is that they were, if memory serves, they weren't actually being allowed out by the Secret Service.
More than likely. I'd say that was more likely the case, but it was crazy, and I know. That's what Gary said. That the use of 25th, and they're not going to bother with impeachment proceedings now. But
Trump is an expert at dragging things out longer than they should.
So I just mute Hobbs while he's on the phone.
Yeah. So I don't think that an impeachment at this point would be useful because Trump's such an expert at dragging things out that he'd be out before they impeached him.
Yeah. It's
definitely. I guess technically, Amendment 25 they could go with, but Pence would have to have the will to do it. And I'm thinking with what you've got 14 days left, less than that really.
Well, I
don't know if is it worth the effort when Pence can just step in at certain points and say, no, that's not happening. No, that's not happening. I think people will listen to Pence over Trump anyway.
I think that his little statement this morning may have been the sort of not admitting defeat, but saying basically, I'm going to back off. I almost feel that is his way of avoiding like the 25th or something. The fact that if he'd gone on and kept screaming about this morning and saying that, no, I'm not, I think that the 25th would have been invoked, and this might have saved him from like being,
I think Trump has someone smarter than him advising him on how to avoid being caught.
I wouldn't mind betting that at some point after Pence called in the National Guard and all that, and after all the counting finished, Pence hasn't gone up to Trump and said, you're going to settle the fuck down now, or I'm going to stop you being president for the rest of this term.
Yeah, because
I think it needed to happen.
They can go straight through. I forget which house it is, but they can go through one of the houses, can't they? And just go like, nope.
If the rest of the executive will agree with Pence, they can declare Trump unfit to govern for a given number of days, which is more than it is until the next before Biden's inaugurated. So. Basically, I think they get 30 days, so Pence, they can declare him incapable, and then he has to be assessed to see if he's capable again. But of course, he wouldn't be president anymore, so it's irrelevant. But Pence would have to have the support of enough of the executive to do that, which makes it kind of awkward to do. But Pence could threaten it because it's something they can do with a quick little sitting and get it in place. And Pence does not become president; he takes on the acting role of president. Trump would still be president, but he'd have no executive power.
I'm just going to say something just for PJ's benefit, because I see PJ's in the chat. I want to ask if PJ saw what Mick Foley put on Twitter yesterday, atting Vince McMahon and saying, "Do you think you could kick this? You can kick this sorry son of a bitch out of our Hall of Fame?" Yes, Donald Trump is a Hall of Famer in WWE wrestling.
By the way, Ring, I sent a link.
Ring did respond. in that group.
That. I wasn't paying attention. Fair enough. Now I've read that.
Yeah. So
what I'm going to have to ask what Pulley a Nixon is that Brings just said, because I have no idea what that is referring to.
What one?
Brings just said, still wondering if Trump is going to pull a Nixon. And I'm wondering what that's referring to.
Yeah.
Well, Richard Nixon, rather than getting kicked out of office after impeachment, resigned and let the vice president take over, so that the vice president could then pardon him. Because technically, Trump presidents shouldn't pardon themselves. Trump could technically do that. He could resign before the 25th. Pence would take over the role of presidency, and he wouldn't, and would then could then pardon Trump. Technically,
wouldn't that only pardon him for federal shit? And he wanted very things in at least 2 states.
That's what I'm saying. He's not. That's only if there's any like federal things that he's up on.
Georgia and New York, at the very least, have enough
he's done as president.
Yeah.
So, like, he could be pardoned for inciting the riot. He could be pardoned for all these bullshit that he's done as president. He can't be pardoned for crap that he's done other than that inside different states, which is covered by state laws. He'd have to be pardoned by the governor of the state for that, and they're not going to do that. So Trump is most likely going to prison regardless.
So
but he could be pardoned for the things he's done as president.
I'm of the opinion that he will manage to draw out whatever shit he's got that people have got on him in New York for years, possibly even until he's died, if he can find a decent enough lawyer.
Oh, I gotta say that as inflammatory as that video was that he posted on Twitter yesterday. Is it just me? But I saw that, and he looked like he's aged like 15 years in the last few weeks.
Yeah,
he looked really like haggard, and
it's because it doesn't put on his makeup.
Yeah, I was going to say the orange had gone right out of him.
Right, and
he's looked significantly less orange for like a month now.
Yeah.
By the way, can you hear me better now than before? Because I actually just now discovered that I hadn't plugged in my usual microphone. It would have been the onboard on my computer, which hasn't worked for days, but now all of a sudden
it was working before.
Was it?
Yeah, both have worked fine.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm just gonna say, I put Hopswatch full screen there, Gramsy, in a sec. Okay, so that wants to see your
the Dragon cup. Chalice.
Sure, there you go.
Yeah, that's becoming like a world famous beer glass now.
The Chalice.
Yes, it's not my favorite glass because it's a bit heavy, and also I don't know exactly what the metal is. I think it's pewter, but I don't know if there's any lead in that.
No, I wouldn't know.
I don't know if pewter's toxic. That's a good question. But you get
I mean, it's not touching the thing that I'm drinking, so I'd be in the clear there. But still, I'm touching it, so I don't know if. Well, I guess not, but yeah, maybe I'm just kind of paranoid.
You'll probably be safe.
Right. It's
but
the glass that I use for beers for which I have great expectations, and I did. Chose well this time. Also, I think it adds to the atmosphere of the stream.
See, don't start talking about great expectations with me. That book is awful.
All right, just so you know, Hops. Yes, pewter contains lead, like you were saying, but it's early pewter, so older pewter that you have to worry about. Modern things that are pewter contain significantly less lead and do not leach the lead into what you're doing. And besides, you're not drinking from the actual pewter itself, so it's not going to leach in. So you're safe with that if it's modern, but if it's old, you could have a problem.
No, it's pretty new. I think I had it as a wedding present in 2009. I guess that would qualify as new. Yeah, good to know. By the way, Jen. Thank you.
I'm going to say that I'll just I'll put it up again. That comment made me chuckle. Trump's
coming to take me away.
To the funny farm.
Oh, to the funny farm. Yeah.
I only found out recently that it wasn't large. The cooperation between Ministry and Jello Biafra that had made that originally. I thought it was an original from them, but it goes back much further back, actually.
Oh yeah, it does.
The song.
Yeah.
Yes, the song.
So that's all the same vintage as my friend the Witch Doctor and things like that.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, PJ's you're a Bucks fan. I forgot.
So I have just seen yet more Twitter posts from people with pretty big followings discussing if the people storming the Capitol were secretly Antifa.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Okay, right. Question. Right, here's
Charlie Kirk was the first that I saw that nurtured that idiocy. Sorry, Jeff.
I was going to say, I put out a tweet earlier today. What do you think has aged worse, Hercules: The Legendary Journeys or Kevin Sorbo's Twitter?
Almost certainly Kevin Sorbo's.
I'm afraid I don't catch the reference because I didn't. Kevin Sorbo is.
Hercules: Legendary Journeys was a series in the 90s that starred Kevin Sorbo. He played Hercules.
Okay.
It was to be honest, it certainly doesn't stand up now. I didn't think it was that good at the time. But the famous spin-off series was a little more famous, which was Xena Warrior Princess.
I think it's dreadful that he kind of ruins Andromeda for me. I love that sci-fi series, but he ruins it.
Well, they tried to do they tried to do stuff in the 70s around Andromeda. They had a couple of pilots, didn't they, for that character, Dylan Hunt.
Didn't it turn out to be a dick, or what is the
he's a complete dick apparently on set. He's an absolute ass. Apparently,
a dick and an ass.
Dick and an ass. Yes. Yeah. He has anal with himself.
Okay.
It's going to be the saddest thing that the line he's going to be most famous for now is going to be because he took everything from me.
God.
God's not dead.
God's not dead.
Kevin Sorbo played the atheist, and it was just obviously some like far right sort of Christian stereotype of what they think an atheist is. That's basically what he was playing.
Yeah, it was something.
God might not be dead, but Kevin Sorbo's career is.
Yeah, if I remember it correctly, yes. I mean, he was playing some college professor or something. And he was trying to get him to say, "Oh, God's not dead." He was trying to get him to quote Nietzsche, and then there's the one kid with faith who's like, it was. I mean, it's classic.
It was a dreadful movie.
It was dreadful.
It was so bad. Didn't the guy in the film? Didn't one of the main characters in the film get harassed for wearing a cross in the US in the film?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know if it was that one or the sequel, but I can't remember.
They made a sequel?
Oh yeah, Melissa Joan Hart was in it.
They did. It was.
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah. Most
sequels I know generally aren't better than the first movies.
Yeah. Okay, Grabsy. Catch you later. We might still be on when you get back, hopefully. But it's that movie though. It is. Actually, most Christians I know think that movie is absolute cack as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know one who doesn't. I know one
who
loves that
made
movie.
it again? Was that Kirk Cameron who made it?
I can't remember if Kirk. I don't remember if
Is it a Kirk Cameron? Ooh.
we'll have to. Right, we're gonna have to.
A lot of Christians I know don't know about that film, but if they see it, they think it's dreadful.
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it. I mean, I have many movies that I need to watch. That would not be one that I would prioritize, to say the least. To put it mildly.
Yeah, oh my word. Oh yeah, goddamn, I forgot Dean Cain was in it as well. He's come up in.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I don't see Kirk Cameron's name on here anywhere. But...
I'm mixing them up.
Oh my god! I just looked in the Wikipedia. I didn't realise there was a third one of these.
Holy crap! Really?
God's Not Dead: A Light in Darkness.
Oh, did you not realise there was a third? I've not seen it, but it's. I imagine it's just as bad. Let's put it that way.
I remember. Who was it? Like when God's Not Dead 2 came out. I remember Jacqueline Glenn did a video reviewing it, and like she was basically saying, "I watched God's Not Dead 2, so you don't have to."
That's
I like Jacqueline. She does make me laugh.
She does make me laugh as well. I'm not that ashamed to admit that. I use the same argument sometimes when I review bad beers. I review them so that you have to, or have to try them. And I also just wanted to say before I forget, I found the beer that I want to review for my channel anniversary. I want to say it's from Mexico. Starts with a C, because it has been so much, kind of the theme of last year. Now I won't say any more. Talking about beers that I review so that other people don't need to. You have no idea which one it is, do you? Mexican starts with a C.
Mexican starts with a C.
Mexican beer starts with a C.
Corona.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I found a couple of them the other day in the fridge. Just took a picture of them and sent it to my mum. Like, hey, mum, I've got Corona.
Nice one.
Corona.
There's a nice little GIF featuring Corona beer chasing some other beers around, and the beers are trying to keep the distance from the Corona. It's very, very cute. Yes. It is.
Jeff, have you seen the private chat, the thing I just put in there?
No, I've just got back, so I was just trying to sort this out a bit. So, no, PBS.
Why did I have to see that?
Yeah, I have seen this today. Kevin Sorbo, goddamn, tweeted this. I'm sure.
Kevin Sorbo is a raging idiot.
Is this a thing people need to see in the stream, or do we need to?
Oh goodness!
No, I'm not sharing that. I think that could be a. Let me just double check this. I'm damn sure Kevin Sorbo tweeted this.
Yes. For people in the chat, don't worry. It's not a nice image. I was trying to be cruel to you.
It's more that it. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, he did tweet it apart from the image of the nude woman in the corner, but it's
you could share the one Sorbo did then instead of the one that Sam sent us.
Okay, let me do. Well, actually, I should point out this is Sorbo retweeting someone else. This just for the record. This. Right, let me put that full screen. I can't get it much bigger than that, I don't think. But yeah.
What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with them?
But I'll show you Kevin Sorbo's sort of thing here was they don't look like patriots to me. And now the whole argument is, do these look like this is feeding into the whole narrative of this is really Antifa behind this and infiltrating the thing.
Good. The guy who looks like Discount Chewbacca. Do you know what what his whole shtick is?
I have no idea.
I've seen references to him here and there within the last 24 hours. But if you know in detail, I'd love to know.
So he is someone who seems to me to be fairly obviously Christian, but he big time LARPs as a pagan. And I'll be honest, a lot of pagans are like him, unfortunately. So some pagans are like that, but he specifically does seem to be LARPing. But he's a big QAnoner.
Ringsford, the guy in the paint is known as Q.
Yep, he is known as the Q. Yeah, he is the Q shaman.
So he's he's a nutter.
I got a laugh actually because I think it's on one of our streams. We talked about it and I actually tweeted this to Shannon Q saying if you do some videos on conspiracy, you should do a character called Q Shannon. You know, I think she quite like that. I think Shannon quite like that.
Shannon's wonderful.
Oh yeah, she's still someone I've yet to be in a stream with and have a talk with, but Shannon's amazing.
I think I've been in stream with Shannon once or twice, but we never massively talked.
She did ask me anything on Discord, and I was in that, but I haven't interacted much directly with her apart from that.
Yeah, as people know, people may Jen certainly will be aware. Me and Discord don't have a good relationship, so
I hate it. I absolutely hate it as well. Whenever you get an invite to someone's Discord server, there's a mountain of text, just an insane amount of different topics and rules and shit and all the kinds of things that I never read anyway. And it's just chaos for me. Every time I get in there, I don't know what to friggin' do.
So that is because people are bad at setting up Discord servers in a way that's easy for people to navigate.
Could be.
Because Discord can be good if you're really good at setting it up, but otherwise it can seem like a bit of a pain in the neck to use unless you've got tiny servers.
Right. I hate using it, so I'm not setting anything up myself anytime soon.
I don't use it any more than I have to use it. Pretty much. I mean, technically, I do have a Discord server, but it's got like 3 or 4 people in there, and I've never done anything with it because I don't like Discord.
Sounds like I
use Discord quite a lot. It's actually the primary method of communication between me and one of my partners. So you know.
Well, I mean, if you have found a way to use it, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but I have yet to discover its functionality, to be honest.
Fair.
I'll have to show you. I'll have to show you something I tweeted. I tweeted today to where is it? Right, is it here? Yeah.
Yes,
that's the Phantom Zone. I tweeted this to Sarah Douglas today, who's one of the actresses in the Superman films.
I like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she hasn't retweeted it yet, or nothing. But I follow her because I've actually I've actually talked with her in a
I really like
stream for like 5 minutes. She's really cool. But she
really like the old Superman films.
Yeah. Well, the woman I spoke to, Sarah Douglas, she plays one of the General Zod's minions. You know, there's 3 of them. The woman of them, that's the one who she plays.
Oh, the woman, she's awesome.
Yeah. But the actress who played Sarah Douglas, and she sort of got typecast as playing villains for doing that in Superman.
Yeah,
but she is really cool. She's she's so approachable, and
that's fair.
Well,
I mean, sometimes. Go on, sorry.
No problem. No, you go on. Go ahead.
Sometimes people get typecast as a certain type of character that as a person they're really not. Like Benedict Cumberbatch gets typecast quite a lot as like the cold asshole, but in reality, if you've ever seen an interview with him, he's like the opposite of that.
He's kind of funny.
Well, it's like, who is it? Richard Wilson in the 1990s. He got so fed up of people thinking he was Victor Meldrew in real life. Or Warren Mitchell, the similar thing with his character Alf Garnett, and he says, "I'm the total antithesis of what everything that character I play stands for."
Just because you can play it well doesn't mean you agree with it.
I know you're quite young, so I don't know if like Alf Garnett is referencing before your time a bit, Sam. I don't know, but
somewhat. But I am aware of the. I'm aware of. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the character's the character is an absolute bigger.
Definitely.
I'll just say for any Americans in the chat, Alf Garnett was a character in a sitcom called Till Death Us Do Part. Now there isn't
and then One Foot in the Grave, isn't it? That's a follow-on from that, isn't it?
No, that's a different thing altogether.
No, that is different. It is.
Yeah, but let's just say Archie Bunker was a rip-off of a watered-down rip-off of Alf Garnett. So if people think the American character Archie Bunker is bad, they should check out some of the Alf Garnett. It is really bad. But the guy who plays that character was like a lifelong socialist and lifelong member of the Labour Party. It was just, he was very, very left wing. He just said, "This is a character I play," and the whole purpose of that show was to actually mock bigots. He said, unfortunately, he did say in later life, I think sadly it backfired on us because the character became a bit of a cult, like a folk hero to people who actually are bigots and who didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've just received a rather concerning message. Nothing like dangerous, but just something I should go and deal with. So I'm gonna have to duck out.
Okay.
Sam, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, I think one of the small children just broke something.
Oh, not good.
Not a bone or anything, just something downstairs. So I'm gonna go and have a look.
All right. Yeah, no. So yeah, in sickness and in health was one of the followers, Jeff.
Actually, PJ is our modern day folk hero.
Yeah.
So,
I am just gonna, before I duck off, I am just gonna say quickly, I guess, that I am going on a live stream later on Ginger Nation.
Oh, cool.
For a chat.
Ginger Nation.
Quentin's channel, isn't it?
Yep, it is 1 EST, I think.
That's 7 my time.
Yeah, that's 6 our time.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of mention that before I disappear quickly.
Okay. I'll just see it. I'll just say Linda's in the chat. Linda, are you doing TMI later today? Because it's a Thursday, I think. So.
She's not feeling well though. So
okay.
Anyway, if I could jump in, put up a subject to the topic of the day. I noticed at least some Danish right wingers. If I could just, I don't know if it makes any sense if I share my screen, but there were some Danish right wingers who who tried to make a point, and I've got a tweet here. I could share it. It's in Danish, so if I share it and just give a quick off-the-cuff translation of what it says, if that's okay.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
Let me just there you go.
Just give me a sec. There we go. Okay, so it's full screen. That's about as much as I can do with it. So
okay, so it's this guy. Can you see the cursor in my on the stream? Anyway, it's called. Can you see the cursor?
Not really well. I mean, not me. But then my screen's probably a lot smaller than people who are watching this on YouTube. So.
Oh, it's just I wanted to use it as a pointer. Anyway, if not, this guy's called Jonas Herby, and he's from the so-called think tank CEPOS, which is it's a neoliberalistic think tank. I like to call them a septic tank, but I mean that's only me. What he writes here, it translates into something to the effect of, imagine that Biden had lost, or that a trial had reversed the election. Who then would have acted up? With me so far?
Yeah.
Good. The problem is more like. The problem is more likely the splittelse. Fuck's sake. I'm already feeling the alcohol here. Just a sec. I have to look that word up for some stupid reason.
By the way, Linda, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Right. So, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Linda.
Yeah.
So the problem is more the division that the fool Trump has created. Antifa are not likely the types who are very thoughtful or considerate, and they don't respect anyone. That's basically what he's saying. So, and he's quoting a different tweet, so of which I'm not going to get into much of a translation of, because this was already horrible as it is. So what he's basically saying is that if Biden had lost, or the result of the election had been reversed by a trial, then the leftists would have been rioting instead. That's his claim. This is
Except that's not what happened when Hillary lost. So
no, you're absolutely right, and it's not what happened when Al Gore lost.
It didn't even happen. It did. I mean, I'll say there were huge protests when the DNC fucked Bernie, but they didn't riot. Exactly.
And also, so I quote his tweet here, and I am saying something to the effect of, am I the only one who is thinking that the right radical idiots from CEPOS and other septic tanks are so eager to say no, you, to the leftists, and they do this because they know themselves very, very well that they share the ideas of the American extreme right, and that they are part of the same community, or movement, rather.
Mm.
So my claim would be that when they are so eager to say no, you, to the leftists, and to say that, oh, if this had happened the other way around, the leftists would have been rioting way more than the right wingers did. It kind of presupposes that these people very well know that they are kind of part of the same movement, and that they share many of the ideas of the actual Trumpists. While the same thing that many conservatives could do was to simply say, this is not okay, fuck Trump, we're Democrats. Well, not as members of the party, but we support democracy, and we distance ourselves from what is happening. Why do they have to say, oh, the left are just as bad all the time? That's my question.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Because
yeah, go ahead.
They have to justify their hatred in pointing out hatred in other people. This often happens with groups that want to radicalize and do things different. You see this with hate groups as well. Like when you've got you see it in the trans community where you have to deal with TERFs picking on trans people who will then say, oh, but trans activists are just as horrible as we are, or they're worse than us, and that's bullshit. They have to say that because they need to do that to justify their own actions.
I've just got to step out for like 2 minutes or two, all right? I'll see you back shortly.
No worries, Jeff. So I mean, that's always been the case. As soon as you get someone who's in a radical, at that extreme radical, whether it's right wing or it's some sort of bigotry or whatever else, they try to justify with that by saying, "Oh, the people who are actually fighting on the other side of that, they're just as bad as I am," which isn't usually true. I mean, it can be. I mean, if you get somebody who is as radically left as some of these radical rights, they might be just as bad, because as soon as you get to the real far ends of radicalism, they are technically just as bad as each other.
Could be.
But I think the problem you have, like especially in the US at the moment, is there are a lot more close to far right activists than there are far left activists within the US.
Yeah, definitely.
And they are dangerous, actually dangerous.
Yes,
these are people who are going to walk into. These are people who are happy to walk into the Capitol, as we've seen, with fucking guns.
It's insane. It's insane.
It is absolutely crazy.
So what I am going for specifically here is, why do these people have to say "no, you" all the time? And I find that kind of suspicious, because it's because they
deflect.
Yeah, well, yes, and it's deflected from the very fact that, I mean, they would not do this. I mean, why even involve the left wing? Why even say, oh, the Antifa are just as bad? Well, I mean, even granting that, why is it necessary to state that even? Why is it necessary for you to state that Antifa are just as bad, when you could just simply say, this is insane?
I agree with you. But it's trying to justify your position. You say, well, this group's bad, so we are allowed to be bad. Yes. No, that's not how any of this works. What you should be doing is calling out every group that's bad individually, and not trying to compare it to another group that's bad. They are bad under their own merits. Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking, and it tacitly presupposes that they know themselves that they are just as bad, doesn't it? They place themselves tacitly in the same group as the Trumpists,
but they think that because somebody else did something, they've got permission. It's like, oh, you already did something bad, now I can do something bad.
Yes.
That's not how any of this works.
No, it isn't. It doesn't make it any better. It makes it fucking worse.
Somebody, so now you're allowed to go and kill June. No, that's not how it works.
No, exactly. And if you think Antifa are that bad, why are you fucking acting like Antifa? If you think Antifa is bad, I mean, you don't.
I would also like to point out that during the Black Lives Matter protest, it wasn't the Black Lives Matter people were not people storming government buildings.
No, they weren't. Well,
it was still the right wingers who were storming government buildings.
In Michigan, they tried to kidnap the governor.
Yeah. So there is no way in this example that the Trump supporters, the Antifa, were actually behaving as bad as the Trump supporters. And the Black Lives Matter campaigners, most of them weren't Antifa anyway.
No, they
were just average people who wanted to have their voices heard.
Exactly, and then of course you had the hangers on. I saw some statistics. Too drunk to find them now, but which said that 98% of the BLM demonstrations were peaceful, and in some of these 98%, there was unrest, but it was, as far as could be told, started by the police and not by the protesters. In 2% of the demonstrations, there was saying that it was actually started by the demonstrators, but only 2%.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying that there weren't hangers-on who joined in this thing and pushed the things worse than what they would have been, because you always get assholes who go, oh, opportunity to be an asshole.
Right.
That definitely happened. So I'm not saying there weren't hangers-on who did the same sort of things with the Trump supporters that happened with the Black Lives Matter as well. But the people who were going to do these things, the Proud Boys and the other mobs who were doing these in the name of Trump, were out to do this to start off with. They were out to push into the buildings and to try and stop that count. That was their end game.
Very, very much so.
I mean, we could have ended up with dead Congress people in the US very easily. Those people were armed. It is kind of shocking, really, when you look into it. Yes. Are you sure you don't want to hop in, Jenny? Because I'm enjoying your comments in the chat. We can cheer you up.
I'm making a long shot here. I'll see if I can engage my good friend from Norway, Kjartan Rowan. He's always eager to appear in live streams. I don't think he does anything much else than being at home and getting drunk. So he could join us. He's always lovely to have on.
There's footage of DC police officers taking selfies with Trump supporters inside the Congress building.
Yes, they let them in. I'm actually not that shocked, because it was kind of expected. Police are like that. There's a reason why I have ACAB in my Twitter name, not my handle, but my Twitter name. And usually I don't like. I mean, I'm against being a generalizing prick, but I've had enough. I've had fucking enough. Now they have to prove to me that they aren't fucking bastards before I presuppose that they fucking are. I've met 2 coppers who weren't. They were from my little town here. I've got a bit of an insane neighbor, and every now and then when she's drunk, she shouts at me, and sometimes she's standing out in the middle of the street here. It's not a very trafficked street, I want to say, but about a year ago, she was standing in the middle of the street, shouting into my apartment through this window right behind me, something about the name of my kids not being on my mailbox, because sometimes I have them over. I'm divorced, and they have their addresses at my ex-wife. That's why their names are not on my mailbox. That's a simple explanation for that. But she, for some reason, thought that was absolutely insane, and she was standing in the middle of the road, and it was raining, and it was pretty cold. So I ended up calling the police, because I mean, she hadn't yet been struck by a car, so I didn't need to call an ambulance. I thought the police were the proper ones to call.
You're an ambulance. Sorry.
Joke,
but you got to go with it sometimes.
Right. Now, I was actually told by the police when I called them that they were looking into a break and enter far away from here. So they couldn't handle this just now. And I said, fair enough. I mean, that's how it is to live in rural Denmark. But actually, 20 minutes later or so, I could hear them. They were outside my door, knocking at her door, asking questions like, "Do you know who called us? Are you okay?" Stuff like that. And I silently opened my door and said, "I called you." So they came in, and I had this absolutely fantastic conversation with them, and they could tell me that there were, regularly an issue with her. And if there were ever an issue again, I should not hesitate to call them, and they would come and they would take care of her. They would put her to bed and make sure they would lock her door and make sure that she wasn't hurt. They weren't going to arrest her or anything because they knew there was an issue with her. And she was getting drunk every now and then and wasn't capable of taking care of herself. So they were ready to do that for her at any time I wanted them to. So that is genuinely probably the only very, very good experience I had with police. But it was a very, very good experience. I have to admit that. But it's the only one.
Well, I have to admit that most of my experiences with police have actually been really, really good. So I can't say I've had lots of bad experiences as far as police officers go. But I totally get that in a lot of places it's not like that, especially in the US where you've got local government, locally controlled police officers and not good national systems for getting rid of bad officers.
Right.
It is a major problem when you can have a police officer that gets basically fired from one jurisdiction because they're no fucking good and can wander off somewhere else and get another job. Mm-hmm. Hang on, that shouldn't be happening.
Nope.
But it does over there.
Sorry about that, guys. I had a delivery turn up whilst I stepped out as well, so sort that out.
No problem.
Yep. No worries, Jeff.
Okay, so yeah, that was one of the things I know that we talked a bit about on Rings last night, was just the lack of policing that was around that building yesterday.
It was shocking.
Yeah, it was shockingly bad. And this, and Ring obviously his background's in the military with like intelligence analysis and so on. So he could have told you this was going to happen. But I don't, you don't even have to be, an analyst of intelligence. I think we all knew. I mean, if you only have to see what happened the night before with like the Proud Boys and that rioting in DC to like say, hey, maybe we want to put a few more, police around the Capitol building. Because they were kind of overwhelmed, and yes, they did end up kind of letting them in effectively. But I've taken part in protests that have ended in like occupations and stuff, but we've never actually broken in anywhere. And then certainly never smashed up the building. I think the worst thing we ever did is we all nicked the we basically nicked all the councillors' tea. That's about all we did. So when they made someone made a cup of tea for them, we drunk it instead. That's about what happened. That's about the length of it. It's like hardcore revolutionaries that we are. But
so we've mostly talked about how the how 2021 has said hold my beer in relation to Trump and what's happened in the US. But what about COVID? Considering we've got the new strain.
We're in full lockdown again in the UK, so
you guys are in the new because you have that new strain that's harder to detect.
Yeah, we're pretty much as well in full lockdown.
But we're looking in Australia, like there's been people come back into the country who have been tested, done 14 days, and they've still come up with showing that crap, there was COVID coming in. So we're like, okay, are we going to be back to the way we were at the start of 2020? Because now we've got new strains that are actually going to be harder to detect and harder to deal with.
Right.
It is getting rather depressing right now. I mean, we've entered a new decade, and like you go back, you go back to like the we had the swinging 60s or whatever. You had the naughty noughties, as they were sometimes called. This decade's going to be the pre-apocalypse years. That's how it's.
We're heading for the end. Shouldn't laugh at that because it's quite conceivable.
Hello, Microraptor. Swedish golfer, and I can't pronounce that. Tops, you may be able better.
Annika Sörenstam.
Yeah, Presidential Medal of Freedom from Trump today. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why? Just fucking why?
She golf buddy of his? I don't know.
Gary Priestley. Will you? I think you should highlight Gary Priestley's latest comment as well.
Oh, hello. Yeah, that's interesting.
They should do that with Twitter too.
Oh, he got a 12-hour ban, didn't he? I think. And I know
24. They upgraded it to 24, didn't they?
Nice. For fuck's sake, just get
rid of it.
Yeah.
Hey, he did ban evasion because he went from his account over to POTUS and started posting on POTUS. So
just impose him already. That was the word I was looking for.
So yeah, he was ban evading.
Oh, can I ask you one thing, Scholar? Just maybe a bit off topic, but still, you got the line at the bottom of the screen running. Join my Patreon, all that.
Yeah.
Can you actually do that with StreamYard without paying for it?
Yeah. Banners. Absolutely. There's a sign on there that will say says banners.
Okay, I never noticed.
You can have ones that go across the bottom of the screen, like what I've got now, or like here's one I have saved of whenever a certain
person's mentioned,
certain authors gets names. We have this one I have saved, and I'll show you. This is another one I have sometimes running across the bottom of the screen. I'll just change it for a second.
I will say we haven't had anything from that person yet this year. I'm guessing that's the next move.
Yeah. By the way, I will say, I'll do a shameless plug. A link to my Patreon is in the description as well. I've just sort of started to figure out how to use that a bit. I've got one stream on there already, which is a review of season 3 of Cobra Kai, but will warn you it does have spoilers. But
okay, I'm not watching it anyway, but I really look forward, however, to the next season of Rick and Morty.
Oh, cool.
That's gonna be awesome.
At least they can pick on Trump on the next one.
Yeah, and it was used. I know Gary's one of my patrons. It was a bit useless to him because he was not wanting the spoilers. So we will not be doing spoilers here either. Don't worry.
Should I get me another drink? I'll have beers queuing up for review on my blog, and I usually don't like that. But hey, if there would ever be an occasion, would be now. So I'll be right back with a new beer.
Cool. But yeah, it's as I said, that was kind of like I thought I'd title the stream the way I would 2021. You had one job to do, and that was beat last year, and it's already looking like a failure, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it would have to be consistently bad throughout the year, and we know we've got some good things coming up. Yeah. And we know we have a vaccine for COVID, so we may get on top of within the next 6 months. We also know that we've got the end of Trump and the start of Biden-Harris. So there are. What we really need to see is your country get its act into gear, Jeff.
Yeah. We don't have an opposition at the moment, so.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. It does seem to me that the leader of the Labour Party is pretty much just agreeing with everything Johnson's saying at the moment. So it's not. Besides, there won't. It's going to be like I think 2024 or something before we can have a chance to get rid of Johnson. I think.
But that's not the only problem there.
Hello, Mindy. By the way,
hi, Mindy.
Congratulations on hitting 300 subscribers yesterday. Perhaps one of the good things that came out of yesterday, whilst that whole shit show was going on. It's going to overtake me in a matter of weeks, I think, Mindy. Yeah, Dave's stream was very good. I know I jumped in at the very end. I couldn't believe how many people were
watching it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like nearly 200 people watching it live at one time. It's like you lot better turn up for the flipping quiz streams. He'll
have to do more news streams, won't he?
Yeah. And Jenny's saying the Packers will win the Super Bowl. Well, okay, if that happens, then I wouldn't even know who they're playing. So,
is the Packers a team of trans men? Is it, Jenny?
I think their origins were that they came from.
Joke.
Yeah,
I will go hide in the corner now.
I think their actual origins were that they were from like a packing plant or something originally. It's sort of company football team to begin with. I'm sure Jenny will correct me on that if I'm wrong, but it's not been the most positive of starts. We want to hope that it gets better though.
We do.
Yeah, but, I mean, maybe this could be kind of the bang, and then it gets better from here. I mean, how would you rate the chances that Donald Trump is actually deposed? I know that he's only going to be there for 14 days, but a lot of politicians, definitely a lot of media outlets are now saying that they want him deposed, and that's the thing to do. So how would you assess the chances that is actually going to happen?
I think a lot of those Republicans who were kind of calling for Trump's head yesterday, that was a lot of that. You got to remember was set in the heat of the moment. They will go through with it or not. I don't know, because I think had he not made that I think that little statement this morning may have been almost to sort of say, I almost get the feeling that some people may have gone to him yesterday and said, basically, back down, or we're going to remove, or the 25th is going to come into play. So I'm wondering if that was maybe the realization sort of moment for him. It's all over, and I'm not, he's still obviously not accepting the.
No, he's not accepting the election results, but he kind of says now that he will leave the White House in peacefully. But and probably it's just to save his own skin. No, I don't really believe it myself, but I would not exclude it. I mean, I did not expect, on the other hand, that the rioters would enter Congress. So, I mean, things could still happen.
Yeah. And it's the fact that he because he went out and gave a public speech early in the day, which he pretty much pretty much incited them to do that. He incited that shit. He egged them on.
He did.
And but I do wonder whether, because I know there were even certain, at least elements of his own party in Congress yesterday who wanted him impeached. They were that angry. And as Mike Raptor said, there's only 2 weeks left. They're not realistically going to impeach him. That's not realistically going to happen. 25th.
They don't have enough time for that. The 25th is possible, but it's more likely that they're just going to say to him, calm your heels or we'll stop you. Which they can.
I think was maybe what I think may have happened yesterday, that they probably went and said to him, you need to back off or we are going to remove you one way, or you will not see your term out.
Yeah,
that is something I think which may have happened.
Although, having said that, Trump is dumb enough that he wouldn't care. He would think he was more powerful than that.
Yeah,
but I think even some of his few remaining cabinet may have resigned yesterday as well.
4. There was 4 resignations yesterday.
Yeah. There was. I know there was some speculations that there might be some more coming, but I don't know.
Well, technically, Microraptor Pence wouldn't become president. He would stay if they enacted 25. I did explain this earlier. They can declare Trump unfit for office for, I think, 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, he has to be reassessed for it. Now, that takes it beyond when Biden will be inaugurated. Pence does not become president. He takes on the active role of being president, but he remains vice president throughout. Right. Trump just loses the powers that are associated with his title, which is all they'd have to do to make sure that Trump basically couldn't do anything.
Yeah, he'd be. I mean, what would he be? Acting president or something at best?
Yeah, Trump. Pence would be basically like an acting president. He stays as vice president. He just takes on the active role. He takes in the same position. Like if the president is out of country.
Yeah,
right. The vice president takes on the role of president from within the country. So it'd be the same. It's the same action. There are things in place for that. So basically, all that happens is the power that's invested in the office of president is Trump is stopped from being able to enact that, and that power is given to the vice president. But he remains vice president, and Trump is still president. He just can't do anything. He's a true lame duck president at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, Linda at Bit of Tea and Danish actually is asking what beer I'm drinking.
Cool. So let's get you full screen.
You're so kind. It's from Klosterbryggeriet. It's a Danish beer. It's a wheat beer, and I'm having it now because I was taught by Mikey Famine. Shout out to him and the.
We love Mikey. He's awesome.
He's absolutely awesome. And he
Mike is amazing.
He taught me. I wasn't aware of this, that wheat beer will get you fewer, if any, hangovers. So I'm having a wheat beer now to kind of just lessen the risk of hangovers, as I can get some pretty heavy hangovers from the IPA that I was having earlier. It's 5.2. Let me see, 5.2 alcohol volume, and it's from a Danish monastery in the town of Ø. So, and that's on, I think that's in the middle, somewhere in the heart of Zealand, although I am not entirely sure. But these are absolutely awesome beers. If you have the chance to get beer from Klosterbryggeriet, from Kloster. Kloster means monastery, by the way. You should definitely try, because this is very good stuff. And usually I'm not very fond of wheat beers, but this is nice, sweet, rich, and everything that you want from a proper wheat beer.
Nuts, you're doing an amazing job as usual.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you very much.
It's exactly what Gary posted before. Trump remains in office, although without any authority.
Yeah.
Because basically the authority gets invested in Pence as in an acting role. I believe that there are some things he can't do that a president would normally be able to do without the authority of the Senate, but it wouldn't matter in this over the next couple of weeks. So basically, it would force. It would highlight just remove Trump's power for the next few weeks. I
want to highlight a couple of comments, okay? If they gag him with trying to maybe concentrate on making frontline pandemic workers, but where was it? Never gag him. He's not deserved any kinky fun.
Wonderful. Anyway,
if those tapes exist, just saying.
But wouldn't it be a perfect chance for Pence to save his reputation to invoke the 25th?
It could be, but I mean, there's also the whole thing that Trump is dying to be a martyr, and he's almost become, as far as the presidential role would be, any step made to strip him of his power before the 20th will play right into Trump's victim hand. So
right.
I would see that as probably something they'd not like to do as a public view. They would rather try to gag him behind the scenes than do it as something that has to become very public. So if you can make him shut the fuck up for 2 weeks without it becoming public knowledge that you've done it, that's a much better outcome for the Republican Party than if they have to stop him. If they have to step in and stop him, they're close to having the Republican Party completely torn apart.
By the way, did you watch Morning Joe? There was a segment 37 minutes long on YouTube, which they simply shared, and one of the hosts, the one whose name is actually Joe, is Joe Scarborough, a former member of Congress even. Anyway, he was swearing heavily on Morning Joe. He said the F word. No, just wanted to put it out there that this is how bad it gets. Even American mainstream media are swearing, are using the F word, and on a live broadcast about this.
Yeah.
I don't even think they did that on 9/11.
I don't see the point in Pence going. I mean, it'd be cool, but I don't know that it's in their best interest to remove Trump in any of the forms, because Trump will play his victim card.
Pence already showed kind of the shadow or a reminiscence of a backbone. I guess he he wouldn't want to show anymore.
Yeah, but there's also the aspect that Pence has already done something over and above Trump. Calling in the National Guard, him doing that as vice president is basically usurping Trump's position.
Yeah, you're right.
So he has already done it to a certain extent. There will remain to be seen. I think if Trump goes down the martyrdom road anyway with this, Pence was overstepping his bounds. If he starts saying that, then Pence has every reason to just step in and stop the fucker. If he doesn't, if he shuts up now, they'll leave him where he is. But this is Trump we're talking about. He's only shut up at the moment because media sources have made him shut up. When he can Twitter again, then we'll see what Trump's really after.
I like that comment, Microraptor.
I love this.
It's kind of funny.
My screen really quickly, and shout out to the Twitter account that set this.
Oh,
ouch! Ouch!
Well, Trump's nothing but white rich boy privilege, isn't he? So
not that rich. Really.
I don't know. Is orange privilege a thing?
Orange privilege.
Good question. It's Apple privilege, I think.
Well, I mean, if you compare him to Giuliani, Rudy, because his hair dye likes to run down his face, and Trump stays in place. So maybe there is orange privilege.
it's. I mean, what a fucking shit show the American presidency has been. I mean, it's just. Wow.
You just knew the whole election was going to be a comedy of errors all the way through as soon as the press conference was in the Four Seasons car park.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to be that has to have been one of the pinnacles of last year in political humor.
It's kind of how the mighty have fallen with Giuliani, to be honest, as well. But mind you, I mean, I've been I was reading a book about history of like the organized crime in the US, because of course I don't think that that's how he made his reputation, was by being involved with trying the mafia. But it kind of looks like his role, he very much overblew his own role in that.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. He in the big case, the commission case, it was someone else from his office who took the lead. It wasn't Giuliani, but as everyone gets there, Giuliani, tried the commission case. No, his office did. He didn't take the lead. He took the lead on another case that was going on at the time, which actually, in a lot of ways, did score him a few more political points than doing the mafia case. But he still, as this other case is kind of passed into history and not been remembered so much, Giuliani's been very much big about putting himself. So yeah, I tried the commission of the New York Mafia, and no, you didn't. Your office did. You weren't in the goddamn courtroom when that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
He dealt with the mafia by getting support from the Russian mafia. Gary Priest is saying. Don't know the details of that.
I don't know the details of that. I wouldn't want to. But I will say that there was always. Giuliani has always claimed that he's always claimed that as an Italian American, he was really disgusted by the mafia. Which may very well be the case. But there's always been some rumors about because a lot of his family were coppers, but there's always been some rumors that some of his family were on the take from organized crime or were involved. But I've got to say to the best of my knowledge, none of those rumors have ever been confirmed. So, just to be honest here, but I'll just say there are those rumors out there, but we don't know that they're anymore. By the way, hi Julie. Just noticed Julie's shown up.
Hi Julie.
Yeah.
Let's get someone else on.
Yeah. Hey Julie, do you want to pop in? Send you a link if you want. Yeah, it's in the three of us. So we had Sam for a little while. Yeah, I get that as well, Jen. So
yeah.
So if anyone else wants to pop in, okay, we'll send the link to Julie.
I can do that.
Okay, you do that then for us, Jen. Yeah, I thought it might be getting quite late for you, Jen, as well. So
Julie has the link because I posted it in Rings group and she's in there. Yeah. So
yeah, Julie, you actually already have the link. You do. It's in a One Rings group.
Yeah.
So if you want.
No, Hopswatch isn't tired of me. I'm just generally tired.
It is gone midnight where Jen is. So
it's after midnight where I am. So, and I have a stream tomorrow on this very subject again. I'll get to say all the same stuff again. No, yeah. Well, we're going to do a bit of a historical thing as well about it. So,
well, if I am up and about, because it'll be after midnight my time.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
If I'm up and about, yeah. But yeah, Julie, you do have the link.
Microraptor wants to hop in as well.
Yeah,
okay. I can sort that. Microraptor isn't in that group. Microraptor is in my group if you want it posted in there.
Yeah, I trust everyone in your group, Jen. So, we have a noodle in the chat as well.
We have noodle. We have a noodle.
We have a noodle in the chat.
Hi, Noodler. Okay. There we go, people.
So. Yeah.
So anyone who's in my chat group, the link for this is in there if you want to hop in and talk.
Yeah. So and it's in Ring's chat group as well. I suppose in a lot of ways I would start my own Twitter chat group, but my notifications go nuts as it is. So I just I stay
yeah, that's how mine is.
Okay. Microraptor can't pop in right now. Just saying what wanted about the group.
Okay. Rings group is to do with medium musings. It's only a small group, so
yeah. But
hello.
Hi, Robert X.
Julie.
Hey, lovely.
Hello.
Hey, it's so good to see you all alive and well and not in my country.
And I'm going to push you through this again later. Jeez,
yeah,
that's so nice.
Excuse me. What's that rubbish about the well bit?
The not having the COVID, I guess. Like I've got like 4 friends right now.
I mean, yeah. As I did, this joke is so good that I will tell it once again. And this relies on an actual test, and I know now for sure, for absolutely sure, that there is, as we all already knew, but I just had confirmed, there's nothing positive about me whatsoever.
Have you got new glasses, Julie?
No.
Look.
I need new glasses desperately. I have high index lenses because I'm incredibly myopic. It's my superpower.
Oh.
But yeah,
just superpower.
Vision, which is amazing. But yeah, anyway, someday I might get it fixed with surgery if I ever work up the nerve. But
Hello, Jenny.
You know, they can't knock you out for it.
Hi, Jenny.
So it scares me. Anyway,
Jenny's in my group as well. So Jenny, you could hop in if you want to.
Yeah.
So it's sedition o'clock up in here. How are y'all doing?
Not too bad.
Sedition
As
o'clock.
we've been
The
like,
president can't tell the fucking truth. So can I swear on this channel?
Of course you can.
I don't know.
what.
no, I prefer. I prefer
I
you
don't think
didn't.
I can't
I
swear.
prefer you didn't, Julie, because I find it fucking rude. So
Hey, I'm a fucking lady. You can deal with it.
yeah.
I've only got reading glasses.
If there's one thing, in the world I hate, it's motherfucking profanity.
Oh, I was watching a documentary about swearing last night, and they were talking about where it affects us in our brains, and it's in other primates too, and it's just this. It releases adrenaline, and if you're swearing because something awesome happened, you know, like your favorite team scored a goal or something, or if you're swearing because you hurt yourself or whatever, it's just an automatic kind of response, and it's actually good for us. We can. They did this test where they had people put their hand in ice water, and one group was allowed to swear. Another was told they could swear if they wanted to. One were told they couldn't swear at all. And between the group that was allowed to curse and the ones who weren't, the ones who cursed kept their hands in the ice cold water 50% longer.
Wow.
This is a thumbnail for the stream that I'm doing tomorrow with Julie and a few others. Tomorrow, we'll leave it today for everybody else. I thought it was very applicable, though, Jeff.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, I love it. The caption is mwah.
Let me get that full screen a second. I'm the best captain. No one's ever been more captain than me. I know more about thinking than anyone.
More captain-y. That's
more captain.
Yeah.
Well, it's the kind of thing Trump would say.
It would be.
You know, notice the ship was called The Pointless?
I did not notice, but I do have some breaking news. At least it is for me. You may have already seen this. Although I've been up since 3 a.m., so I don't know. But okay, so according to I can't see the Guardian. According to the Guardian, that's funny else. According to the Guardian, Donald Trump suspended from Facebook indefinitely, says Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh,
yes. I have heard that. I know
there was something about Facebook, because it was mentioned by someone in the chat here earlier about Facebook, but that's just a slight update on what we heard.
Thank you. Sorry, I was at the bank, and then I had this panic moment when I saw you guys, and I was like, I thought Jen said 10 p.m. So
10 p.m. Yeah, that's my stream.
Then you realised it was on my channel, but it's
yeah. By the way, on the subject,
in all cautiously.
can we just return to the subject of glasses? I want to show my watching TV glasses. So I'm slightly short-sighted. I can't speak. Fuck's sake. Short-sighted on my right eye, but only slightly, and only so slightly that I've actually been to an optician a couple of times, and both, or at least 2 times, and both times they said, yeah, you have you're slightly short-sighted, but it's not so bad that I will give you glasses, because that will just give you more trouble than you will have just by coping as it is. However, when I'm at the cinema, or if I want to watch a movie on TV and I'm sitting at a distance, I do actually notice it, especially if I have to read something. So I found myself a very cheap set of glasses with I think it's with 1.5 strength of minus 1.5.
I'm not laughing at you.
I like that one.
Let's just see that again. My story is quite boring anyway.
No.
Okay.
Don't shop with the same thing.
Okay.
They just need reading glasses sometimes. Especially Trump has got them. My precious.
And precious presidency. Precious presidency.
There's something I really need to say before, because I know as
Gary,
time goes on,
that made my fucking day. That's brilliant.
It's amazing. As time goes on, like one of the people that died, for example, they died because they were scaling some scaffolding that they were illegally on, and they fell. But the thing is, and so there's going to be, and you know, the woman who was shot and died, she was part of that mob. But I just want to put it out there. Matt Dillahunty said something similar last night, but it's just these people think they're right. They're Trump is they are hardcore Trump supporters, and he's telling them they're right, and he's telling them what to do, and it's because he is fucking lying to them and saying the election is stolen, and will not stop saying it. Didn't even stop saying it when he told them to go home in peace, saying it was stolen. The motherfucker won't stop lying, and because of that, 4 people died yesterday.
That's insane.
And I'm not gonna. I don't think they deserved to die for believing.
Well, certainly not for Trump.
President. I mean, my mom is a Trump supporter. She doesn't deserve to die because she supported this asshole. We don't talk about it, but she doesn't deserve to die over it. Rant over. I just wanted to get that out there because this is. I mean, he's lying, and now it's killing people. And
much more important than my point. The only thing I wanted to show is, because I'm only short-sighted on my right eye, I actually poked out the other glass. So,
guys, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this going, but I may keep this going a bit longer. But I just want to point out that One Ring's got a premiere coming up on his channel in about 20 minutes. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Ring and I are doing a surprise Wine and Reason tomorrow. Just FYI at noon CST.
Cool.
But I know Ginny's on about popping in, so I just.
Well, you'll have Ginny. I'm going to pop out because it's like 20 to 1 here, and I need some sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, I will see you later.
I will see you later, Julie. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Oh, cool.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hopefully you'll be up here, and I'll direct you in as well. Bye.
Bye.
Right. Thanks, Jen.
I always think about that with our Australian friends. We see them early in the morning and then late at night. And, you know.
Yeah.
I've done live streams where I had people from, we do on this one as well, of course. I think it's real good fun to have people on one live stream, both from the United States and from Australia, and would be pretty much the same experience for Jeff, who's only 1 hour apart from me. Away from me.
That works.
Yeah, it's really weird that even though we're in different countries, we're theoretically, we're about an hour away from each other on the plane technically.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And it's that's nothing.
The flight, the transatlantic flight's a bit long, but it's not horrendously long.
Well, I've never been into Denmark. I've flown to the Netherlands a few times, and that's maybe just under an hour from where I live. So, because there is an airport not far from the city I live in. So, but I'm not sure that the airport in my city actually flies to Copenhagen or anything. So.
We have a.
I'm not aware of any I don't think there is, but we should definitely get together, Jeff.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things. I think a lot of us are all going to be like, we need to organise some we don't give a damn travel or anything. When this shit is over with, we all do need to kind of meet in person somewhere. It's just.
Yes, I want to. I've kind of got an appointment with Chantal Rowan from the Bin podcast. We want to get together, drink some Danish schnapps, and some quality Norwegian craft beer. Then we'll have on Finnish rye bread. We will have Swedish surströmming, which is fermented herring. And the thing is, you're very much recommended never to open a can of surströmming inside a house. You need to do it outside because it smells absolutely awful.
I would totally try
It's
that.
that foul, isn't it?
It's a YouTube thing to record when you're opening a can of Surströmming because it just smells so bad. People are just collapsing when they feel it. And our plan was originally to have Martima 81 with us when we are going to do this, but
I think we have Ginny.
Apparently, he's the Swede. Apparently, he doesn't like Surströmming. So he doesn't want
There's
to.
a question in the chat. Hey Noodle. If she's asking if this is pertaining to the woman who was shot, that woman was shot by Capitol Police, so they are always wearing full uniform. And given that she was the only person who was shot, beyond that, I don't know anything. But
I think I thought there was someone else. I think there's been more than one death from what I remember.
Yeah, there's been 4.
Yeah, there was someone else who was shot.
The other ones were heart attacks.
Or anything. It was like death by misadventure, essentially. Like they were climbing on stuff. One guy was climbing.
Did you see the video of the woman being shot?
Yeah, the woman being shot. She was shot by a Capitol policeman.
I thought when I saw the video of it happening, I mean, I thought it looked really, really strange because people were all cluttered in a kind of in a lump, and suddenly there's a shot and the woman curls and eventually dies. But you don't see any cops in that shot. So I originally thought and kind of propagated the idea, wrong idea, I want to say now. But I actually thought that she was sort of under friendly fire. That someone's gun had actually accidentally gone off.
I don't know. Like I said, I just heard that on PBS this morning.
Yeah, I don't think that's correct. What I thought, but that's what I initially thought because in that video there were no visible cops and there wasn't that much of commotion.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was wrong. But it looks really, really weird when you see the video. That's all.
No, that's fair. And it's also weird how things can get out of frame. Like I was watching a live stream on Critical Cripples channel yesterday, and I spotted at the time I thought they were National Guard. Were they? Anyway, there were guys in U.S. honest to goodness, not just trying to look like they're in U.S. fatigues, but actual U.S. fatigues, and they all had rifles, and they were just kind of stationed like around the crowd. This is after this was probably by about 4:30, going on 5 p.m. at the time in D.C. So yeah, it was. But there were people watching the same stream, and in the chat they were saying, "I don't see."
Whoa! Sorry,
I don't see anyone, and I'm like, "They're right there."
I just spotted something in the chat there from Ring.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor about a pipe bomb, but I didn't have that confirmed.
Yeah, they were left. One was left in the on the Democrat side. One was left on the Republican. Found interesting. We're gonna have to make up our own rhyme now about gunpowder. What? They also found Molotov cocktails for funsies, and my people are insane.
To be fair, though, that it still wouldn't have been this big of a bang as the gunpowder plot would have been.
No, it would not. No, the gunpowder plot was huge. But no, yeah, this was.
Jenny, I'm just saying you're coming through very quietly.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't want to interrupt, but hello everybody. Good morning.
Welcome to Shadow.
Please do. I won't stop otherwise.
Yeah.
No worries. Good morning, everybody. Well, and hopefully, everybody's having a good day. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful blue sky, and it seems pretty peaceful in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, we've got snow here.
Nice.
Oh, Scammer, have you got any snow?
Sorry.
Have you got any? Have you got any snow where you were at?
No, it's cold, but we've not had we've had a a little bit of sleet a day or two ago, but no, we not got snow.
We actually got snow, and you have to remember, if you encounter some yellow snow, always eat it. It could be beer.
No,
It could be beer.
Gross.
Okay. Have you heard that? If you heard that song, yellow snow, yellow snow, yellow snow.
No, I haven't.
I'll find it later, and I'll send it to you. But
to Ricardo,
Yes, do that.
I don't think it's a full-on. I don't think we can claim a full-on Guy Fawkes Day, but this is the first time the Capitol has been invaded by hostile people since the War of 1812. So that's fun.
And,
can I just point out we had more luck than the Trumpanzees. We burnt the fucking White House.
You did. You set it on fire. Yeah, you set the Capitol building on fire.
No, yeah, I know. Now I know. Ultimately, it didn't end well for us, but we had our moment.
Well, then again, I mean, you still to an extent got Canada. So I mean,
it's a weird thing.
I wonder how many Americans are actually kind of wishing we'd won the War of 1812 in retrospect.
Sometimes I do. Let me explain why before any of my fellow Americans beat the shit out of me really quickly. The reason I do is because if we had remained under British rule, like let's say if that side had given in to us getting seats in Parliament, so we could be taxed with representation, okay, or something like that. I can say for one thing, given the past and the British Empire, I think that the First Nations people in our part of North America would have fared much better.
Thank you, Noodle.
Right, right.
Ungrateful colonial. So so on that level, I've thought about that a lot, and then also you guys you do a lot of stuff better. I mean, all the way down from small environmentally intelligent things to do that for some reason we're not willing to do here, like have lights that automatically shut off and stuff.
If I as a kind of neutral party can jump in on the other side and say, the United States was the first experiment in actual democracy.
That's true.
And that has been an inspiration to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And maybe we wouldn't never have gotten there with if the United States was still under British rule.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, that's a fair point.
Oh, hello, Gary. I have no idea.
Never, as far as I know. I've seen.
If there was time before that, I don't know. I don't remember if there was.
No, I don't think it ever was. I saw the picture in question with the comment that didn't even happen during the Civil War.
Oh, it wouldn't.
Stars and bars have never been.
Yeah, and actually, we ought to point out that flag
inside the Capitol.
Yeah, that flag you're thinking of is not the official Confederate flag.
Are you talking about the Bonnie Blue flag, or which one?
There were several. There was the first official flag was the Stars and Bars.
Yeah,
which is
that's the one
looks a lot like the Stars and Stripes. It's a modification on that. Then you had the Stonewall Jackson flag, which had the kind of Confederate St. Andrew's cross in the corner, but it was a pure white background. And then they changed that. I forget the name of the final flag, but it had the Confederate cross in the top left corner, a white background, and like a red bar going downwards in the end. That was the three official flags of the Confederacy. But the crossing that everybody calls the Confederate flag, that was like a battle flag kind of thing. It was never like the official flag.
Okay.
And to be honest, it never really got popular until
the non-official government that they tried to set up. So fuck them.
That flag never really got popular as well until the 20th century, when it was literally the Ku Klux Klan and that brought it back.
Yeah, I know. I've lived in the South my entire life. Believe me, I know way more about all of that than I wish I did.
Which state are you in, Julie?
Enough to be scared. Enough to know that there are some parts of my area that I don't go into.
Which state are you in, Julie?
Tennessee. She said Tennessee.
Oh yeah, I'm in Tennessee. Sorry.
No. That's not what I was thinking. Are you in a solid state, gaseous state, or plasma state? No.
I'm in a solid and a particle state.
Cool, great one.
Depending on how far you want to go.
Guys, will be back. I'll talk about just be back in like 2 minutes.
Sorry, I am always like that.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm about as bad as a very stable milking stool. Only I only jump out occasionally, being like that, while a stool is like that all the time. If you've ever experienced him.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Good. Great.
Going back to that flag, I've just heard some funny stuff earlier this morning. Like some of the Trump flags, ironically, I'm sure were made in China.
Yeah. They probably were. Most probably were.
Oh my god, that is awesome! Thank you for that, Jenny.
Yeah, and then I think you guys are talking about the woman who got shot. Somebody sent me a video over, I think it was like a TikTok video, showing who she probably was. I don't know if I can pull it up. If I can,
I don't. Please don't. Okay. I just. Is it of the actual shooting? Because if it is, please don't.
No, it was just who the person was, like right before she arrived at the protest.
Jeff has to approve of you sharing, so it is a way it comes.
Are you all right? Something terrifying just happened with your audio.
Again? I think I had my arm before my microphone.
Jugshop wants me to ask you to say, do you want to play a game right now? Because that's what your audio is doing. Please don't.
How about Among Us?
Jesus, that's...
I thought it was the amazing thing. I tried playing Among Us in Minecraft. It was actually a server who had, I think it was Hypixel. You can play Among Us as a Minecraft game, and it works surprisingly well.
That's good. I feel very threatened right now. You got to fix that. Whatever is going on with your audio must stop. It must cease.
How do you accomplish that?
I don't know how you make it do that. Oh gosh, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, you're
Clearly
fine. I'm sorry. It just sounds so bizarre and terrifying.
What about my audio?
It's like that. Okay. It's like that moment right before Darth Vader comes into view in episode 1.
Right.
Maybe I should. I could just jump out and jump in again, but then Scummer has to let me in.
Oh, right, and he stepped away probably because I triggered his urge to smoke. Because I
just let me try something because I
terrible and I smoke on streams. I'm sorry. Don't smoke. It's stupid. Okay.
Did he jump out?
That's what I tell my nieces and nephews, and none of them do. It's kind of amazing. Like there was definitely a culture shift between the two generations because all of my siblings, I'm the only one who's still stupid enough to still be smoking, but all of my siblings and I smoked at some point.
The question becomes, how effective was any of the, I don't know if it's a war on drug kind of education that we got from school, but I'm sure in the end, maybe 50% ended up doing some sort of drug.
I will say that Dare taught me what drugs looked like.
Right.
Is this better, by the way?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, cool.
No longer having a fight or flight reaction to your voice.
As I described it on my blog, but I mean it's many years ago. What I was told about drugs basically It's not entirely true, but it depended on the teacher. Well, some teachers were like, if you, the minute you try weed, the next moment you'll be sitting with a heroin syringe in both of your eyeballs, hammering your head into the nearest table to get the syringes further in.
Yeah, it was all about the paranoia.
Yes,
and they brought in, and they told us shit like that too. Which is patently false. And then the other funny one is at one point I think they were trying to get us. I don't know if they were trying to find out if there were any families with a problematic alcoholic parent, but that was the theme of this, and we all got brought in as like second graders into you're about 8 in second grade, and we all got brought into the gym and sat down, and there was this whole group, and they had giant standees of The Simpsons, which were so cool, right? I mean, that was like if you were allowed to watch that show, and a lot of kids weren't because of Bart Simpson's classic line, "I'm Bart Simpson, who the hell are you?" Like I grew up in a small, very religious town, and a lot of kids weren't allowed to watch it. So, but I was, and so they bring in The Simpsons, and then they use them as an example of a family with an alcoholic dad. And as an adult, I can see that. Homer drinks and eats too much, and Marge is constantly apologizing for him and shit like that. Sure, but it's not. It was the coolest show on television, and now it's been one of the longest. I think it's like is it the longest running show on TV, or is it like the second longest or something now?
But it's definitely the longest cartoon show.
Yeah, it ran for most of my lifetime, and I'm 42 years old, so it's like they completely missed their mark there. They had the wrong audience to use The Simpsons as an example of something bad, because we were all huge Simpsons fans.
Right.
Yeah, I started.
Oh, so they used it as something bad. I didn't even notice, but.
Oh well, they tried to use them as an example of a family without an alcoholic parent, so it was all dysfunctional and shit. But
right. But I want to say still, one of my other teachers, he was actually, he was more neutral, I'd say, to the question of to the issue of drugs. As my good friend Kjartan Rowan said about Denmark, we are the bland Netherlands. Our country is just as flat as the Netherlands, and weed is banned. This teacher actually said that weed wasn't really that bad, and maybe one day it would be. It would be legal, but that was back when I was in primary school. So that's like 30 years ago, and it still hasn't happened. So there's that. More like 35 years ago, actually. I'm 45 now.
In all fairness, Noodle, nothing's run as long as Doctor Who. Just saying.
Well, technically, though, I don't know if that really qualifies, because Doctor Who went on hiatus for 15 years.
Yeah, there were breaks.
So, because I remember watching the classic era. I think the first Doctor I really got into watching was Sylvester McCoy. So, frustrated atheist. Give me a sec. I'll send you a link. So just give me a second. But I watched Sylvester McCoy, and then of course then it was taken off.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even. All of my UK friends are gonna hate me for this, but yeah, I didn't. I started with David Tennant. No, I didn't. No, guy right before him.
Right. How about The Bold and the Beautiful?
Oh my God! I think I was named. That might be the soap opera that I was named after one of the characters. That's where my mom got my first name from. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but that was probably Guiding Light. But yeah, I remember as a little girl, before school, my mom, Bold and the Beautiful was definitely one of her shows, one of her stories.
Yeah, but didn't that run for longer time than The Simpsons?
It may have. And I think you were right to put that qualifier of animated.
Well, we've got longer series running than that in the UK. Coronation Street's probably it's been running way longer than The Simpsons.
In Denmark, we've got Troldspejlet. That's actually a cool. That's actually a cool series. And that's a series about video games and Star Wars and movies like that. That has run since, let me see.
I'm sorry, we're getting
since 1989. So
okay. Coronation Street is a soap opera that's run since 1960 on British TV.
Oh wow!
So that's the longest running show I think we've got.
Looks like Ring is premiering now. Just FYI.
Oh yeah. I just sent frustrated atheists think, we'll keep going, but if anyone does want to go over to Ring's channel, be no hard feelings, because we love Ring on this channel. So I
don't want to leave, but I think Junie will have a better chance of getting a word in edgewise if I do. And also, since I'm doing a stream with Ring tomorrow, I need to know what he's going to talk about today.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, I'm here, so I will definitely make sure that other people get a word in edgewise. Well, mainly me. I'll make sure I get a word in edgewise.
I'm just glad to get Julie before she left.
Do y'all want to see the most messed up but hilarious thing I found today on Twitter?
Yes,
please.
Oh, y'all will. I'm pretty sure y'all will freaking love it. Give me a sec to get it all.
Well, now I can't go away. That's too much anticipation.
Oh, y'all are going to love this.
Plus, I love you guys, and it seems rude.
No, we love you. Like I said, I'm happy that I got to catch you before you left.
Oh, thank you, Junie.
Come on, share screen. Get.
Jeff has to accept you showing the screen. So Jeff.
I know. I haven't. It hasn't appeared yet.
Yeah, I know. It just now stopped showing me the little wheel that it was loading up. Okay, there we go. Oh no,
yeah, Gary. Yeah, I would say get some sleeps in.
Night, Gary.
Thanks for popping by. Okay.
Good night, Gary. All right, y'all ready?
He's Australia.
Oh no! It gets better. It gets better, and it's related to the storming of the Capitol yesterday.
Oh God!
Okay.
Watch. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're totally insane.
They pushed me out and paced me.
Oh my God, I love it.
And if that had been a BLM protest, she would have been shot in the face with a rubber bullet. Like, I'm sorry. I'm actually no. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that she got maced. I'm not sorry she got pushed down. This was stupid. And again, I hate blaming people for because they were convinced of terrible ideas, but just how do they not see it? What's messed up is they're like, this is about our personal freedom, right? That's what they think they're fighting for. They're chanting USA, USA, and all that nonsense and this nationalistic bullshit. And then, but what they don't realize they're doing is they literally stopped democracy as it was happening. They disrupted it, and they want fascism. But if you told them that, they'd say, no, we don't.
I found the full video from that.
How do they not get it?
I found the full video of the lady who said they pushed me down and maced me.
Oh yeah.
And in there, they said somebody asked her, "What were you doing here?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Storming the Capitol. It's a revolution." That right there is fucking treasonous act.
Well, the lack of self-awareness there, that like you think you're starting a revolution and you think you wouldn't get opposition from the state in some way whatsoever.
And the lack of basic survival thought processes. We have drones that can murder you from the sky. I'm sorry, but you may have your granddaddy's hunting arsenal, but you're not doing an armed insurrection within this very large country of ours against our military. Our military is the only reason we're not really a third world country. It's because it's freaking huge.
Yeah, so the thing is here. I ran into this problem a lot whenever people were discussing that Trump wouldn't leave the office like at all. Like whenever they said, "Hey, no, Biden's president," and Trump would be like, "Nope, I'm staying in this office all the time." The thing is so. And the same issue happens with, people who think that they're going to storm the Capitol and start a revolution. The thing is without the entire American populace behind your back, which you didn't have, you had maybe a few thousand people there. But the thing is if it had gotten bad enough, the military would have came in and wiped you out, like point blank period.
I mean, the Virginia National Guard was on its way.
Oh, sorry.
They would not. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that they would not deploy drones because that's just not what American people do.
Oh, I love it. Oh my god, that fits into the title of this stream. To be honest, that is.
Oh, that's fantastic.
God damn, I'm gonna share that. That is the best fucking meme ever. That wins the internet today.
Yeah, that does. That wins the internet today. Whoever made that meme, thank you. Thank you for that. I needed that. Oh,
I wish I'd found that earlier. I wish I'd found that earlier today. I would have made that the thumbnail for my stream. But
heck yeah.
I heard about this on NBC. I think it was either NBC or CNN. I'm sorry. I need to write down my sources better. Usually I'm better about that, but I was upset last night that the reason that they were able to finish, I think they finished in the electoral college votes counting of those, that sentence is not going to work out. Never mind. They finished counting them around 3 a.m. and confirmed Biden as president-elect. And the reason they were able to do that is because when those people charged in and started causing all the chaos, some staffer, and we don't know who it was yet, as far as I know, I don't know anything about the person other than they were a staffer, like an aide, thought to grab the physical electoral votes, because our system we've got this weird antiquated thing, because they used to be brought in on horseback, and you might somebody could always die doing that. Traveling was dangerous, and so like there'd be multiple couriers and multiple copies of the electoral college votes. Anyway, some quick-witted, brilliant young person grabbed them and took them when they were evacuating the House and the Senate. So thank goodness for that person, because if I don't think it would, I don't know that it would have changed anything long term, but it could have, if the rioters, if the insurrectionists had gotten a hold of those votes and just burned them, it could go into this conspiracy narrative of how the election was stolen, and it was not.
The thing is though, is like, even if that were to happen, let's say worst case scenario that the insurrectionists had broken in, taken these votes, burned them, and whatever. That's fine, because all that would happen then is a recount, as another voting, and guess what? The results would still remain the same.
Yeah. So, I mean, and as I said, I don't think it would have had enough. I don't think it would have destroyed our democracy in that moment.
The only thing that would happen is that Biden's inauguration would be pushed back a little bit further than the 20th. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, and there could have been some weird, I don't know, but probably not. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, so I'm going to stop there.
But did all of y'all read Trump's succession speech?
No.
I heard something about that. He was saying that he was gonna do a peaceful transition. I haven't read.
So this is coming from Dan Scavino, which is Trump's media whatever guy. And it's a statement by President Donald J. Trump on the electoral certification. Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election, and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I have always said we would continue our fight to ensure that our legal votes were counted. While this represents the end of the greatest first term in presidential history, it's only the beginning of our fight to make America great again.
Oh my God, that was an excellent Trump impression. But every time I hear anything approximating his voice, it's everything inverts.
There was no collusion.
Sir, there was no collusion. The Russian hoax was just a scam. That's all it was. But I just wanted to let y'all know that entire concession speech there that was tweeted out in 2 different tweets was nothing but a big circle jerk to himself.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
It wasn't a tweet.
It's a big.
It wasn't one of his
jerk in the world because I make the biggest circle jerks. No one makes big circle jerks like me. I mean, you should see Pence's circle jerks. They're like half as good as mine. The best circle jerks in the world.
Sir, I think the only one here who makes the better circle jerks here is me. Okay. Trust me. Believe me. They're the perfect circle jerks there ever will be.
Oh, so what happens when you elect a malignant narcissist?
Yes. I could have personally went out there and gave out a speech, but I didn't. So instead, I decided to write it.
I'm gonna share a video. This is an old one, but I don't know why this still makes me chuckle to this day. So,
it's his face. Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
I saw the information. I read the information outside of that meeting. It's all fake news.
Yeah, but he's a pervert, dude.
It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
Donnie, please.
Well, President Putin in Russia put out a statement today that this fake news was indeed fake news. They said it totally never happened.
You're like a child who wanders into the middle of a movie.
I don't know that I'm going to get along with Vladimir Putin. I hope I do.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
And if I don't, do you honestly believe that Hillary would be tougher on Putin than me?
So you have no frame of reference here, Donnie.
Does anybody in this room really believe that? Give me a break.
That fucking bitch.
I am extremely careful.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Don't be rude.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I love the people of Mexico.
Oh, shit, dude. I'm sorry.
And by the way, Mexico has been so nice.
He was one of us.
We're going to build the wall. That will happen.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
Quiet.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
And that's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do.
Donnie, shut the fuck up.
Russia will have much greater respect for our country when I'm leading it.
Forget it, Donnie. You're out of your element.
And I don't care.
Well, it's an old video, but I love it.
That made me so happy.
Okay.
Hold on.
Thank you. It's a good thing I muted myself because I was cackling.
I gotta say, I did
the same thing to myself.
I had that full screen, but I was obviously looking in the private chat. Just Julie's, your reactions were priceless.
I'm glad. That was awesome. I had not seen that.
My
So,
favorite
thank you.
meme that I must have posted to him like 50 times now, and when he says something stupid, it's literally was like Jeff Bridges and John Goodman sat at the bar with Donald Trump, and he's like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
So one of the worst things, one of the worst things about that entire speech is the fact that he sat there and compared America to Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't like. I'm not. By no means am I a fucking genius. I'm just gonna say that now. Sorry about you dropping the F-bomb. I don't know if you use the F-bomb here or not.
Oh, it's fucking
Yeah,
fun.
why the fuck not?
Okay, yeah. So I'm not a fucking genius, but I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't be comparing your country to Nazi Germany, like ever. Even Germans don't compare themselves to Nazi Germany.
No, they learned from their mistakes. Well, not mistakes. They learned from the horror of letting a megalomaniacal narcissist run their country.
Yeah. It's just like,
and they know a thing or two about that, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I just was
Which
like,
is why Angela Merkel rocks. But
and then,
actually, she rocks just because of who she is. But
She put something quite funny on Twitter as well, saying that when I leave, it will be a lot more peaceful.
I mean, it's insane that I would ever think as highly of any conservative politician as I do of Angela Merkel. And I mean, I mean, it was before Trump. I mean, she's been the chancellor of Germany for ages, and back the last couple of times I met with my uncle and aunt, they expressed in. They live in Germany, so you have to get that into context. But they expressed kind of heartily how absolutely horrible they thought she was. But I mean, she ended up being the sensible voice of Europe, because everyone else was more insane, way more insane than she is.
Oh yeah, and she's very compassionate. I mean,
And she's sensible. I mean, you have to grant her that.
Yeah, in her refugee and immigration policy, she basically committed political suicide with that and didn't care. She was like, "Nope, we're going to do the right thing. I don't care."
That's probably just difference between sort of say some conservatives in other part of the world and conservatives in the US.
Indeed.
So have y'all seen Caitlin Bennett's post that she made?
Actually, I kind of have kind of suppressed who Caitlin Bennett actually is.
Caitlin Bennett, I will refresh your memory. Caitlin Bennett is the gun girl who graduates from college and then gets totally reminded every single fucking time she's online somewhere that she shit her pants at a party.
Yeah.
Why am I not remembering? But I know the name. I have.
She's the face of Liberty Hangouts.
Yeah. Did she not like carry a
AR-15
semi-automatic rifle around with her on campus?
It's not a semi-automatic. It's not semi-automatic. It was an AR-15. But yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I suck at guns, which is sad.
Yeah. For those who don't know,
both Army sharpshooters, and they can't get me interested. I'm like, I don't like those things.
Now I know. She, Jimmy Snow, Mr. Atheist, made a couple of videos about her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Now I remember. Yeah.
So, Caitlin Bennett, 21 hours ago, posted a Martin Luther King quote saying, "And I must say tonight that a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is America? And what is it America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met."
Okay.
And all I could say was, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, give me a break. This is not a riot at all. This is an invasion.
The people with the most privilege, just fuck.
It just disgusts me when they use like Martin Luther King's name like that. It actually just
me too.
When they carried a Confederacy.
God. I'm so angry, and I think
yeah.
Oh, no, there we go. Okay.
Last night.
Not
could the NAB lend me a hand? I mean, two hands just doesn't do it when you want to face palm to that.
Yeah.
I need at least a couple more.
Here's two more for you.
There you go.
There's two more.
Oh,
for
thank
you.
you. I'll just lean over.
So no, what makes this even fucking better? What steadily makes this fucking better is the fact that back in June, she had said, getting violent, crying, and throwing temper tantrums isn't how adults resolve conflicts. It's what children do when they don't get what they want. No self-awareness at all.
None at all.
She Michael Scott's that all the way, doesn't she?
What the fuck? Did she really say? So who was she actually trying to accuse of having a temper tantrum there?
BLM and Antifa.
Oh,
yeah. You know, because clearly black people have all the power in our country.
Yeah, barely.
Jesus Christ.
It's just, oh my god. And then of course I fucking love Sophane. Sophane responded to her Martin Luther King Jr. quote with "How time flies" with 2 screenshots, and the first one says, "Hold on, give me a second. It's loading up." Okay, it says, "These are not protests. They are not even riots anymore. This is an act of war. It's time for @real Donald Trump to deploy the full force of the U.S. military and end the lawlessness. #Kenosha protest." And then the second one was, Trump should sign in an executive order that if you're spotted at one of these riots, you lose your right to vote this November.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, the double standards are so strong because there's a lot of like Trump's Twitter histories coming up there to like if you invade government property, you should get 10 years in jail. Remember that tweet?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that coming back.
And I'm sure none of these people are going to be arrested.
Out of the Capitol. Yeah. Also, why were none of those people arrested?
Why were
that's what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on. Why were none of what people arrested?
I'm sorry, from the flagrant act of sedition, the ones who, not all of them, but the people actually entered the Capitol building.
You telling me
the police and went in?
No, hold on.
Arrest whatsoever?
No. There was actually about 14 to 15 of them that were arrested.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
I'm sorry. I've been looking and listening, and I haven't been able to find a report that anybody was arrested.
There was about 14 to 15 of them that are arrested. Yeah, which
nothing compared to the like BLM.
No. What I was going to say is that the numbers of people who were arrested yesterday fail in comparison when you compare them to the BLM protests, because 14 to 15 out of about maybe 2,000 people is a fucking drop in the bucket. And
also, no, it just escaped me. Sorry. Fucking.
I remember even back then there was a literal wall built to hold these people back, and I think a lot of us saw this coming. So they can't sit and tell us that they weren't prepared for this, or they should have been. What happened to all that money that was going in our defense?
Also, I guess that the ones who were making who were doing the arrests were not anonymous federal agents in military fatigues.
Yeah, no, they were not.
These like unmarked federal vehicles.
Yeah, no, they were DC PD.
Right. I just got this idea. I want to float it with you. I don't know if I know that Jeff saw the video that I put out. 10 signs that you are that you're a straight person. Thank you, Jeff. And I am actually, if I dare say it myself, I am actually quite satisfied with that video. I just got another idea of a video like that. 10 signs that you are a white person.
That's a brilliant idea.
It's a very good one.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to pull up your video so I can put it in the live in the link in the chat actually. But okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ox is pointing out that Capitol Police have face recognition systems all over the Capitol building. So yeah, they will be. everybody who was in there should be arrested soon, unless something really weird happens.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing is that the FBI has made even a tweet saying that if there's anybody that from yesterday that you have, you can identify somebody committing acts of violence and yada yada yada, that you should send it into the FBI. They're looking for all tips.
Cool.
But there was somebody who looked like Greg Locke.
I put a link in the chat here. Can I just say, anyone who has not seen this yet, please feel free and go and watch that. At some point, because this is a brilliant video. I think it's one of the best videos you put out, mate. It really is. 10 signs that you were straight. It's really good.
I'll definitely give it a watch.
There's a really disturbing quote in the chat that Ricardo Oliveira put up. Ricardo, do you have a source for that?
Whoa, hold on. What's this? This one here, Julie?
Yeah.
Wait, which one? We are calling on to bring again drafting article of succession to declare Florida a free and independent nation. We need a new country that will be safe from democratic tyranny. Please, please tell me that's real.
That's
Liberty Hangout.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not exactly something we should take seriously then.
All right, sorry. I like I said, I am from the South, been here my whole life, and you start talking about secession, and I'm like, what? Do I need to leave?
Well,
do I need to go?
The thing is Texas has lost their right for succession.
Oh, because that was kind of it's in their state constitution.
Yeah, it was. So the thing is whenever we became a state, our whole entire thing is that we said, okay, yes, we will become a state as part of the a part of the union, but we want to be able to succeed if we just so choose to.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is the Civil War happens, and because the Civil War happens, what ends up happening then is that whenever the Civil War was over, they said. What was it? They said that in order, now that we succeeded during the Civil War, that we can no longer succeed anymore. We cannot do that. And so my biggest thing though is we're Texans, and if you piss off Texans enough for them to actually want to succeed, that we're not going to give a shit about the legality of it. We're just going to do it anyways.
Yeah. And I've got a weird. I've always got a weird position on this because I always, support people's right to self-determination if they want to secede from the existing nation that they're in. I don't necessarily have a problem with that in of itself. I certainly, however, would not want to see a rebirth of the Confederacy. I'm a little rusty on a lot of my knowledge, I must admit, but if there's one period of American history I've studied at some length, it is the American Civil War. I actually, going back about 10 years ago now, since the last time I've done it, I used to actually do historical reenactments of the American Civil War. I've been out to the United States to even do that.
I went to one of those ones. I learned how to embroider.
Yeah, I went to reenactment of Perryville in Kentucky back in, it must have been about 2002 now. It's a long time ago.
Perryville.
But, I did. I was in a weird thing because I did join a Northern, like a Union regiment, but it was weird because it was a Missouri regiment, and Missouri still had slavery kind of thing until halfway through
Missouri.
the war, so.
Missouri was split right down the middle, kind of
you know what? You know there's 13 stars in that Confederate flag, and there's only 11 states that join the Confederacy. The other two represent Missouri and Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, they expected us to come along at any time. I think.
So the thing with Missouri, the thing is with Missouri at the time during the during all of that, they were more of the we don't want to be a part of this. We're just going to be off on the sideline. And
kind of what Kentucky did as well. Their official position was neutral.
Yeah, and what caused a lot of soldiers to actually join up in for the Union was the fact that the Union said, "Hey, all you Missouri people, guess what? If you join the Union and fight for the Union, we will give you your own plot of land in Missouri." And so these people, these poor people who didn't have a scrap of land to them and didn't have any real money, they're like, fuck yeah, I'll do that."
Oh, they learned off the Romans. I'll say that much for them.
Mm-hmm.
I had a several times great granddaddy on my dad's side from Georgia who paid a sharecropper to fight in the Confederate Army for him because he was in his mid-40s, and also, being a happy little slave owner and didn't really want to go to war.
Yeah, was that right? If I remember correctly, like the first draft act was by the Confederacy, and it was, but you could basically pay for like an alternate to go in your place, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what he did. His name was Zach.
It kind of got it, which is it actually caused a lot of trouble. It's like class resentment within the Confederacy because it's like hold on, this is a rich man's war, but a poor man's fight. Kind of thing.
Always is.
Famous.
So, have any of y'all seen?
Okay, good to see you.
Have any of y'all seen Checkmate Lincolnites?
No.
Oh my goodness! Y'all need to look up Checkmate Lincolnites. It is a man who was a Civil War reenactor at Gettysburg, and he's from New Orleans, and he started his own YouTube channel. Where what he ends up doing is he portrays both a Civil War, a Confederate and Union office, soldiers.
Yeah,
and they sit there and have this back and forth, and he reads as the Southern soldier, he reads all these people who keep having all these wrong takes about the Civil War, and so it's so fucking hilarious because he'd sit there and they're like, he'll spout off with all this weird nonsense, and then at the end of the show, he's always like, "Checkmate, Lincolnites," and it's just hilarious because
it's like the checkmate atheist meme, isn't it?
Almost. It's pretty much it's entertainment, but it's also it makes you learn, and he always cites all of his sources. And
I used to get into a lot of arguments with because I won't say it was necessarily true in every case with the reenactors. So I think that would be that's a poor generalization. But at one time we were doing an event and we were listening to. We happened to be because it was just before the whole thing started, and the person giving the commentary was someone who portrayed a Confederate, and they was doing a commentary for the crowd, and we were there listening to this. And I'm like, hold on, are you trying to get this crowd of people watching this to cheer for the bloody Confederacy here? Because you was so much pro-Confederate like nonsense, and like you shouldn't associate that flag with white supremacy and whatever. I'm like, yes, you fucking should.
Yes, you should. Right. And it's not about states' rights. It was about slavery.
That goddamn thing.
Well,
yeah,
I fucking love
the states' rights things. And
I love the states' rights thing. I love it because all I sit there and say is, all I tell these people is like, okay, it's about states' rights. Which state right was it about exactly?
Yeah, which one? They all cite in their letters of secession.
Which one is it that even the I think it was Davies who sat there and even in his fucking personal letters to people and like everything that he wrote down where he said, yes, this is about this specific thing. What was that?
Whoa, Ox, I think you've got some stuff very wrong here. I'm sorry. Delaware and Maryland were not part of the Confederacy.
No.
Virginia, yes. Sorry. North Carolina, South Carolina,
Mississippi, Texas, Arkansas,
Kentucky, and Missouri were border states.
Tennessee, absolutely. Kentucky and Missouri were. There were 11 states in the Confederacy.
Went fast.
Maryland was a slave state, but it was very much did not join the Confederacy. Delaware is definitely. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Virginia, it was a big arena of that war.
So Virginia was one of the states that it was a slave state.
So you're forgetting so you haven't got Florida on the list there, which Florida was part of the Confederacy.
But Virginia, it was one of those states that it was a slave state, but it was technically part of the Union. And so what happened was whenever the South has succeeded and whatnot, and during the part of the war where they were winning, where a lot of these people, like a lot of the soldiers, freed their slaves and shit like that, I guess as good PR or whatever the fuck they did that for. What ended up happening was even before the Emancipation Proclamation, or after the Emancipation Proclamation, Virginia still had slaves. And their reasoning behind it was because it was hard to find good, cheap labor. And for the longest time, they kept it. And it wasn't until years after, like a few years after the Civil War, that they actually ended up freeing the slaves in Virginia. And it was like, the fuck?
Oh, yeah. It took a while in a lot of places. There were places where, slaves just were never told.
Yeah.
And a few years later, somebody walks through and they're like,
hold on, I'm going to address this. Delaware was not a part of the Confederacy, Ox. I'm sorry, I got to wholeheartedly disagree with you on this. It was not. Yet now, I will say, Maryland. Yeah, a lot of people may have fought on the similar thing to Missouri and Kentucky. There were people who went, probably went from both one side to the other. There were Southerners who went north to fight as well. That stuff happened. But if you actually look at the official Confederacy, this was the lineup of the states involved that actually joined.
And there was this one chick who's buried at our historic cemetery here at Elmwood, whose name was Julia Moon. It sounds made up. It's not. She was going to boarding school somewhere in the South when. Is
that Ilya's ancestor?
No. When the war happened. I don't think so. I hope not. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. She's very much a Southern belle. You know that. She is. Oh yeah. Now I've heard that accent. I've had lovely discussions with her. But no, so this other Moon woman, she was going to boarding school in the North, and when war was declared, she was told she was locked into her dormitory room, as were any other students who had families in the South at the time. And she took a rifle and started firing into the courtyard of her school until they let her out and let her go home. Because she was like, I'm not gonna. It's a weird story, and it's totally messed up because she was absolutely on the wrong side of history and on the wrong side of that war. But it's interesting because she was basically like, I'm not gonna be a Yankee POW. I'm going home. Like, no. And yeah, so she died here later. That's weird. Anyway. Random tangent.
I actually have to remember that when we went to Perryville, and there was me and my friend Paul were we were walking past in our uniforms, and we were going past the Confederate cat, and there was a couple of them says, "Hey, get out of here, you damn Yankees!" Or something. They actually said, "No, you damn Yanks." And my friend Paul turned around and says, "Hey, mate, we come from England. Where we come from, you're the Yanks."
Yeah, you're the Yanks. Yeah.
You're the Yankees where we come from.
There's a great moment in one of those World War II movies where it's just a random moment between two side characters, and this an Englishman is like something Yanks blah, and the American soldier answers him. He's like, "And stop calling me a damn Yankee. I'm from Georgia." All right. Calm
I
down,
gotta say,
honey.
one of my most favorite World War II movies that is completely inaccurate would be Inglourious Bastards.
I was going to say, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
But
so
I
much
like
fun.
that because it doesn't pretend to be historically
Nope.
accurate. I that's what I kind of like about that film. It's
Yeah.
not pretending to be
Oh, yeah.
a historical
No.
film. No,
It's just a
No,
great
I
fantasy about how things might have gone.
My
And I love
favorite
that.
line, one of my favorite line in that entire film, is whenever he sits there and he's telling the truth. He's got the troops lined up, and he sits there and he's making that big speech in the beginning, and he says he's like, but every soldier that comes into my town has a debt to pay. He's like, every soldier in my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps, and I want my scalps.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
I've actually got to say, in that film, Inglourious Bastards, Hans Landa is one of the best film villains in history. I think he is. He's got to be on. He's got to be on a top 20, if not top 10 list of movie villains ever.
Yeah,
Hans Landa, I think he's a brilliant villain.
I'm gonna have to watch that again now.
Oh my gosh! And then another good scene that I fucking
Same
love
here.
is whenever the bear Jew comes out, and he sits there, he's like, he hears that bang bang. He's like, you know what that is? He goes, that's Donnie. Whatever his last name was. He goes, but you may know him as the bear Jew. He's like, you know what he does, right? He's like, he beats men to death with a club. He's like, he's gonna beat your brains in with the baseball bat is what he does. And then he goes off. He's like now you put your Wiener Schnitzel licking fingers on this map and show me where all the troops are. And he's like, we're gonna have to call out the bear Jew. And then he sits there and does. Eventually, he has to call him out. And then here comes Johnny with the fucking Boston accent right out of the Fenway Park. I was like, oh my god, yes.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to betray one of my American sporting alliances here. By the way,
Oh no.
it's not my Dallas Cowboys shirt, but it is this one.
Oh. The Boston Red Sox.
The Red Sox, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff.
I'm not a baseball fan, but
I'm
I go
afraid
with the
I'm losing concentration a bit, so I think
Yeah,
I'll
no
jump
worries,
out.
mate. All right, Hops. Is there anything you want to plug quickly before you go?
Well, I could plug my channel, I guess. I'm Hopswatch. I'm doing beer reviews, and also while I'm also doing political stuff, the occasional sciencey stuff, secular activism, LGBT stuff. It's kind of new, but it worked well. The one thing I did, yeah, and I've also got a Patreon. And follow me on Twitter. So the last thing I want to say before leaving is the one thing that I always say is always remember to drink responsibly. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Please go and watch this video by Hopswatch if you haven't seen it yet. 10 Signs You Were Straight. It is a great video.
Thank you.
Will
Thank
do.
you for joining. So, cheers.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.
Thanks for popping on, Hops.
Yeah, I had one of those terrible moments where I realized it wasn't Hopswatch's channel, but it was somebody else that, you think you're subscribed to them, right? And you see them all the time, and it's like, and then you, for whatever reason, like go look at their channel for a particular thing, and you're like, oh my god, I'm not subscribed. Shit.
YouTube's like unsubscribed me to channels that I and it annoys me because it's always the smaller channels. Like it'd be like, I know I'm sub to you, Julie, and yet I'll come one day and see you on stream, and it'd say subscribe, and I'm like, how does YouTube unsubscribe me? Subscribe because I know that I just
Yeah, and that's why I don't. That's why I don't sweat it if I see like that I've lost a couple of subscribers because I'm always like, probably just YouTube.
I think it's between 220 and 230 off and on for about a month or so. It's gone up, and down. It's
hitting those milestones is frustrating.
I mean, I'm trying to do some stuff for this channel this year. I'm trying to reach out to get some people on for interviews and maybe start building that way, and just interviews and conversations, because I've done some good ones. I mean, I think probably the two ones that I did with Chris Shelton were very good. Especially the one where Amanda co-hosted with me when we talked about Narconon. I mean, in a way, it's weird. Even though it was my stream, Amanda kind of took over. But at one point, Amanda even put in the private chat, like, "Sorry, am I talking too much?" And I was just like, "No, Amanda, just go," because I could just see what was happening was really good. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't necessarily turn into views, but it was such a good interview that it was like, it's one of the best things I think I've put out on my channel was that particular thing.
That's great, and people should check that out check that video out if for no other reason than you need to know what Narconon is. It is it passes off as a like drug rehab thing, but it's run by the Church of Scientology, and all they make people do is Scientology courses. And they claim, they make ridiculous claims, and this is how you know the bullshit. They'll say that they have a 91% success rate in keeping people sober after they go through anyway, the thing. And or they'll say 70%. That's the conservative estimate that they give. And it's like, no drug rehab anywhere has numbers that high. It's like the mean is 20, and that's doing really well. That's not even an average. That's like doing really well. Is like.
Are you talking about like a membership fee?
Oh no, sweetie, I'm talking about like in terms of success of getting people off of whatever they were addicted to and having them stay off of it.
Okay.
Yeah, because they
wait a minute.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sure there is. I'm sure money's involved because it's the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, because you mentioned that, I was like, wait, those people charge a lot just to be in the club.
And they do. They do. But don't just with a drug problem. Don't send them there. They will not help.
Okay, I'll just show. This is the link to the particular stream. I mean, I've had Chris on the channel a couple of times. I mean, the first one was just like a general kind of interview with him and getting to speak to someone who was in Scientology. This one was a little more depth, and I got to say, in a lot of ways, Mama Atheist kind of, in a lot of ways, ended up leading the interview because she just got really enthusiastically into the conversation, and it was to me, it was good, and I was just like. Because Amanda messaged me privately saying, "Am I talking too much?" And I'm like, "No, Amanda, just go. This is really good. This is good." Spooky has an idea for me to do a substrive.
Oh,
trust me, people will subscribe to me to not see me wear a mankini.
I would not say that. I would. It was really awkward. When Math Pig did it, it was funny. Yeah. It was really funny. Also very awkward.
Well, it was the funny moment.
Math Pig I never expected to see.
Well, it was the funny moment. I think it was Halloween. Team Skeptic had, for some reason, had to wear a mankini for a stream.
Yeah,
and whilst he was there, he got a knock on the door, and he's like, "I've got to go shoot quickly," and then he turned out it was trick or treaters. And he just like opened the doors. It's like young kids. I'll dab him with a mankini, and then came back and told that story. It was.
This might have been an offense against the law. I'm not sure.
Just trust me. Nobody wants to see me in a mankini.
Sorry,
I was gonna say the thing with YouTube. I don't know. I have, maybe because I have notifications on for a lot of people, but I feel like they try to balance it off, and so they like take off some reminders for me. And so Thursdays is usually my day that I catch up with a lot of people's streams. and sometimes I don't catch it.
Something happened to me this month.
And do you know what we were just mentioning? Mama Atheist earlier, a minute or two ago. She's here.
Hey,
Mama Atheist.
I was actually just, Manda, just so you know, I was actually just saying that the thing that I was probably most proudest of on my channel was the interview you and I did with Chris Shelton. So just so you know why we were name dropping you.
I'm glad that Surf let us know that he told the parents of the trick-or-treating kids that he was sorry he was doing a thing on a live stream, live show on the internet. I wonder what they thought that entailed.
Guys,
yeah,
I'm going to return in 2 minutes because I'm getting the nicotine urges very quickly.
I got to stop smoking on your stream so I can stop.
I do get them, but I will be back in like 2 minutes.
It's not good. Okay. Did this happen to anybody else this month? Where your Patreon payments, it said it was declined, but the money was in your account and your card was fine and nothing was wrong?
I don't pay anyone because I'm broke as shit.
Well, no, I respect that, but basically what I get for my channel is essentially what I give to other people. And when I was employed, it was not a problem at all because, but now I've gotten used to having that extra content and I need my Scathing Atheist today. And I need the extra content version with the South Scathing Atheist. And I'm going to be really, I can't access anything and it's making me sad. Okay, that's it. Short rant over. I was just wondering if anybody else has had this problem because Junk Shop didn't have it, and I cannot. I've tried to fix it. I even got a work order number from Patreon, but then nothing else, and it's been a week now, and I'm like, okay.
No, not yet. Luckily, I usually get notified for whenever I get a receipt for Patreon.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had a problem before. It's been great up until now, and yeah, it's weird.
And I have yet to make one, so hopefully, maybe in a few months from now.
Yeah, and anybody out there to whom I'm a patron, I have not yanked my support from your channel. I don't know what's going on. So that's trying to get it worked out. Okay, that had nothing. That was apropos of nothing. All right. Junie, what's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. I was actually wondering what the mainstream was going to be about. I just saw the word goulash, and I was like, oh, goulash. And I got invited, so I was really good when I answered in because we were talking about what was happening last night, and that spewed me.
Yeah, that was last night was weird. Last night, what was extra weird was we watched it. This is going to sound weird and naive of me, and it's going to date me a little bit, but I'm not watching news like you're watching a process that is normally very boring, and that's what Junk Shop and I were doing. We just wanted to watch just watch them count the electoral votes. This isn't something we usually do. We usually geek out over actual election nights and stuff.
Right.
But for some reason, not for some reason, because of the Orange Monster, we really wanted to watch it, and so we're watching it, and it's business as usual. Nancy Pelosi is having to lecture the Republicans to put on their masks and to wear them correctly and to not clump up like that. You have to stay 6 feet apart, like she's talking to children, because I guess they pretty much are at this point. Anyway, so it's all normal and it's going, and they get to the dispute for Arizona, and then suddenly she's banging her gavel and saying there will be order on the floor, and then people are running around and they're all being ushered out, and it's like watching that happen live on. It was just I looked at Junk Shop and they looked at me and we were like, what the fuck just happened? What is going on? And it was absolutely bizarre and the weirdest. I mean, not something I ever expected to see, on the floor in our Capitol building,
like ever. But
yeah,
I mean, in terms of what happened over the summer, it was, I don't know if I should say it was bound to something like that happen, but I think I mentioned that, you know, because of what happened over the summer, you would think that they would get some sort of better security, or, you know, more prepared for things like this. If you have a large crowd of people out there, quote unquote protesting about this, something is bound to happen. Especially when Trump was, you know, telling them, "Let's go," and Rudy Giuliani. Oh my goodness, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you've got calls to violence from Rudy Giuliani and from Trump, and these are all hardcore supporters.
Oh my gosh! And I unfortunately, well, I don't know if it's unfortunately, but I was at work yesterday, so you know, we used to have the TVs on you know, NBC, and we would watch the news. But then I think after, you know, we got back from the lockdowns, we got back into business, and I think everybody just did not want to hear anything from the TV, and so I missed that part. So by the time I got back home, you know, my partner was just freaking out, like, "Oh my gosh, did you hear what happened? Did you see?" I'm like, "No, what happened?" I asked. And then she showed me all this stuff, and I was like, "This is just nuts."
That's rough.
Because just like you said, you just were expecting kind of like what was happening earlier this year with the impeachment process, where everybody was just going to go down the table and just spew out what they have to say about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very bizarre and surreal.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about the evacuations.
I don't know. I likely am. Because I know it's weird. Like, I know, like, I have people in my interpersonal relationships who are Trump supporters, and I have Republicans, because again, South, like most of the people I know are Republicans, and not most of my friends like my age and younger, but in terms of like my age and older and family members, yeah, Republicans. I'm the only Democrat in my immediate family, and so they but even like not all of those Republicans support Trump. A couple of them vehemently despise him and then think he's ruining their party, you know, and he is. I mean, he's certainly leaving a nasty orange stain all over everything.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, my parents are both Trump supporters, and
so are mine. It's hard.
And Christian
honestly,
on top of that all.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I figured out fairly quickly that we're just not going to talk about it. That's the best way to. My mom has dementia. We have bigger worries. I'm not going to. You know, we're not going to get into the political discussions we used to have, because you know, now she gets upset, and that's another reason I'm so angry about this election lie that he keeps telling, because she believes it, because all my parents watch is Fox News.
Oh boy.
And she is so up, and like the day after the election, I called her to see how she was, because I knew she'd be upset, and she said, "Well, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. That's democracy. I mean, I don't like Biden," and you know, and I was like, "Well, you know, he's a Catholic," and she said, "Is he?" My parents are Catholic, so that gave Biden maybe this much credibility with my mom. And
yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
When? Since JFK, yeah. But then the next day, Fox came out with Trump spouting all of this, you know, no, we won, and we won in a landslide, and all of this nonsense. And then, so she had been at peace with it, and then I'm talking to her the next day, and she is flipping out. This is a 78-year-old woman with dementia. Leave her alone. Stop it. Nobody gets to raise my mom's blood pressure.
By the way, if you're still watching, Amanda, I've sent you a link if you want to come in and talk Georgia at all, because I know you're there. Because obviously that's interesting. We haven't touched on Georgia. I've been going like 3 hours, and we haven't talked to Georgia. Oh, she can't right now. Okay, but you've got the link if you want to. But she can't. She says she can't right now. But But yeah, we haven't really talked. We haven't even talked about that, and something good kind of happened there.
Yeah,
Is it true that they got the Senate seat for Georgia?
They did. We got Ossoff and Warnock. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I never thought I would see. I mean, I started to cry a little bit. I never thought I would see a state like Georgia, you know, that you know where my slave owning ancestors from, you know, would ever flip blue. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime.
Right.
And I'm so happy right now. The only thing that would make me happier is if Tennessee ever goes blue. That'll make me really freaking happy. But
that might be sometime, but yes.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
right.
I think we
Just
went red on the last election. I think we were red by like 9 o'clock. It was.
Mm-hmm. I think Indiana was the first one to be counted, and I was like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and then like with Georgia, it was so wonderful, so amazing. The CogDis had a bunch of podcasters on and did this huge fundraiser and raised over $100,000, which their goal was like 20 or something or 10. Their goal was really low, and then they ended up raising so much more. And you know, we couldn't donate much because I've been laid off we've both been laid off for fucking forever, and things are really tight. But we donated a little bit, and then and what we could, and it was just great to be a part of that. And then and those races were so close. It was like nail bitingly close, and then to find out that they both won was just amazing.
I think like by mid count, I was just overhearing somebody say that, you know, it was like half and half. And I was just like, well, I think if one seat was already taken, wouldn't it be like the tie taken away from, like Kamala Harris would just, you know, break the tie, something like that?
Well, but she's not vice president yet.
Okay.
So it would be Pence, I guess, right now, I think.
Well, if Trump gets removed from office today.
No, fair point. I'm not sure how that works, honestly, because I don't know when did they all get sworn in on the 20th? Because if that's the case, then you might be right. It might have been Harris who would have broken the tie.
That's what I kept hearing, that, you know, her vote would have, you know, broke the tie.
You may be right. I am not.
It will possibly be
somebody in chat.
My understanding is that
it's classes with social studies, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
I think my understanding is once they're sworn in or whatever, it is that yes, I believe she'll have the tie-breaking vote. Then it's my understanding.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm very, you know, I don't know a lot about your guys' political system. So
the main thing is we have one president at a time. So even though Biden is the president-elect, he's not president until he's sworn in on January 20th. Period.
Right. Yeah. Even though he's acting more of a president now than Trump is.
Yeah. Even though he has to tell the current sitting president to go stand up and tell his writers to go the fuck home.
He's acted more presidential in like 5 minutes than the, you know, Cheeto has in like 4 years.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I got issues. He wasn't my first choice either, but the second the nomination went for him, I was like, all right, let's do this. It's like, and of course, you know, voting blue in a red state always feels kind of shitty, but it feels less shitty because of what happened in Georgia. Because Georgia just proved that there are enough of us out there. There are enough, even in the deep red states, there are enough of us out there, and that we're getting, and younger people are more, just getting more liberal, and it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully more left.
Madison, stop making me respect Biden.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not.
I know he wasn't my first choice either.
To be fair, I mean, when you look at the competition, It's not hard to like make him look good in comparison, is it?
No, it's not. And people who say, you know, they didn't vote for Biden so much as against Trump, I get that too. I totally get that. Yeah.
I feel that a lot of the times when I go to the ballot box in the UK, that a lot of the time I vote for the Labour Party through gritted teeth because they've been so fucking awful on so much. But they, even at their worst, they're still better than the bloody Tories. And it is a lot of the time I am voting. I will vote for like an alternative left candidate if one is on the card. But if there isn't one there, I'm going to vote for the Labour Party. That'll be generally what I'll do.
Yeah. Well, I reckoned you voted Labour. I would have been surprised if you didn't.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. You have several parties, right?
I've voted for the Greens on several occasions, but then they kind of let themselves down a few years ago. Something, and when they actively cut their one council that the Green Party controlled in the UK, they cut all their public sector workers' wages. And the ironic thing is, you had they held one council and they got one member of parliament, and it was really weird. Their member of parliament, Caroline Lucas, went against her own council on this issue, and I got a lot of time for Caroline Lucas, and yes, I mean, he looks good compared to but to be honest,
he speaks coherent sentences about true, actual things.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Even I'd look good in comparison to that fuckwit.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
like you in a tracksuit would look more presidential.
A mankini.
Yeah, I'll wear the mankini and I would still be more presidential. My ugly mug and ugly body in a mankini, I'd still look more bloody presidential than Donald Trump.
All right, I gotta say, Jeff, you gotta stop talking about my friend Jeff that way. I like Jeff.
I know I run myself down a lot, but you know, I'm
self-deprecating humor is one thing. Hey, look, we've all been. My state's on lockdown right now because my governor's an idiot, and we were the epicenter for COVID for a while for the whole world. There, that was fun. So the day after Christmas, we went on lockdown again. Should have done it sooner, but whatever. And my decision. And we're through January 22nd, unless it's extended, because right now we've got over 62,000 cases in my county alone, I think. And I do live in the county with a major city, but
just you're not far from the Memphis area. I mean, you don't just
no. I'm in Memphis. I'm a city mouse. I'm in Memphis. I don't like it when it gets too rural. I started.
Oh, hi Ed.
Hey Ed.
Hey Ed, good to see you, man. And Amber. Amber was out earlier, but see you back.
Yeah. So anyway, no, we're on lockdown again right now, and it's And so my point is that we've all put on. I know I've got some lockdown weight going on, so I'm not going to throw any stuff.
Right, Julie, Amanda's got some little retort here. You have a stupid governor. Ours is not on lockdown because he rode on that open everything, no mask train for so long.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, you win. Amanda wins. Worst governor. I didn't think you could beat Governor Bob Lee. Wow. In terms of, caring about money over people's lives. But apparently you can in Georgia. Okay. No, Amanda, we're celebrating Georgia today.
Yeah, Georgia did something good. Okay, just for once, Mandy, your state did something really good.
And Manda helped because she voted.
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
In fact, I'm going to give Manda sole credit for it. To be honest, I know Manda. If she went out there, I know Manda well enough to. If she went out there and said, "Vote for the fucking Democrat," I might be a goddamn conservative. I might be the worst conservative in the world. But if Amanda was staring me in the face, telling me vote Democrat, I'm voting fucking Democrat.
Yeah. Fair. Persuasive.
Just kidding, Amanda. We love you, but
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry about that. Sorry, my mom had called me.
No, it's okay. I have to take calls if my mom calls because but yeah, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I take calls from my mom because it's my mother.
Yeah, of course.
Whoa. Ring, what? Your incoming governor choke slammed a journalist when he was running out the House of Representatives. What?
Oh, is it that guy? You've got
you've got Montana, aren't you, Ring? I think I think he's Montana, but wow.
Am I
actually said earlier in the stream, probably before you guys jumped on, actually, that it's just where the word choke slammed. I did kind of like the retired pro wrestler Mick Foley on Twitter yesterday, and he tweeted at Vince McMahon, says, "Hey, do you want to think about maybe removing this son of a bitch from our Hall of Fame?"
Exactly. Oh my gosh. He actually ran Raw
Donald
for a
Trump
while.
Donald Trump is the WWE Hall of Famer. Yeah.
I think
I kind of like. I thought, fair play, Mick. Fair play.
I was gonna say, I think Vince McMahon's wife is in the cabinet or something like that.
I don't think she is anymore. She was put in charge. She was small business at the start of it, wasn't she? She's cabinet of small businesses, which is kind of hilarious if you know the history of that company and how they put out all the small, fairly small businesses that were other wrestling companies in the US in the 1980s. Yeah.
Fun fact, I was trained in pro wrestling by, I don't know if anybody knows Steve Boz.
Name rings a bell. I actually did it for a little while. I did a little bit under a guy named Mark Sloan. He's not very well known in of himself, but he trained one or two quite well known British wrestlers who Paul Burchill, who went wrestled in WWE for a while, Katie Lee, who wrestled, and I think Drew McIntyre. I'm not sure if he trained Drew McIntyre or not. I'm not entirely sure on that, but
in Texas, in the town of Texas City, there is a gym, and next door to this gym is another like gym, but it's for pro wrestlers, and it's actually ran by Booker T.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he runs a school in Houston, doesn't he? Or I don't know if that's where you are, but
there might be one in Houston. Houston is about 30 minutes from me.
I know he's from Houston.
Yeah, but he has one of his schools down in a town called Texas City, and he goes there from time to time. But yeah, they've got all of the people there.
Sorry, Ed, you win the comments today. He wrestled a snake for 12.5 years in prison.
Oh lordy!
Oh wow.
Yeah.
My imagination is
you guys. I mean, I know Julie knows it. Do you frustrated atheist? Do you know Ed at all? Grumpy old dude.
Myself?
Yeah. Do you guys know him or know his story?
I don't know his story. I do see him in chat though.
Yeah, he's awesome. he used to be a white supremacist at one time when he's got a long story, but he got locked up and he joined a skinhead gang in prison, and like became a white nationalist. And so since he's got out, he's kind of got out of that now and tries to speak out against hate groups. Is what basically is what.
Oh, he hasn't kind of gotten out. He's gotten so out.
He's gone so out.
Threat on a regular basis.
Yeah, he's a threat from his former.
To be very clear.
Yeah, so Ed's one of the good guys. So the fact that he's got out of such a poisonous ideology that he was in at one time and is now speaking out against hate groups is what he's about now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fascinating because he talks about how the indoctrination works and how they get you to think of other people as less than, and then like coming out of it, how hard it was to change those thought patterns later. It's a fascinating story, and it's a beautiful story because it's proof that people can change.
I had Ed on for an interview on my channel as well a few months ago, which again is another one of the things I am proud of putting out on my channel was the interview. Again, it's me and Amanda did that interview together. We did with Ed, and it was it was very, very eye-opening. Very eye-opening video interview to have actually. And because I've had a lot of run-ins in the past with the far right in Britain, that I'm fairly knowledgeable about certain far right groups. But Ed even shocked me and said, "No, he says you don't realise that my former group that he was involved with, which are kind of almost like a religion in a sense, are." He said they are active in Britain, and I didn't even know this. And Ed sort of surprised me, and it's like, oh my word, because I wasn't aware that this group were active in Britain at all.
Oh, we love you too, Ed. Jinx.
Yeah. Oh, I owe you a Coke. I don't know where you are. I can't.
No, that's interesting. I mean, I know we've spoken to him on the New Year's chat.
Yeah.
And his beautiful wife Amber is in the chat as well. So
yeah,
that's nice.
But
I'm gonna have a split here in a second. I have a philosophical question for you guys.
Well, I'm probably going to have to wrap up in not too distant future because I've been going for well over 3 hours now. So.
Oh wow! Okay, that's a long time. So the philosophical question is: if one has been awake since 2:53 a.m. due to severe anxiety, and has already run all of the errands and done and cleaned the bathroom and the kitchen and pretty much done everything she has to do, would it be permissible for that person to have a drink at say 12:20?
Damn right.
Yes.
God damn, yeah.
Okay.
It's only been up, but
it's gone midday. You can drink.
But I have one thing to say about this is that you've only been awake since 2:20 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
That's rookie stuff. I've been up since about, what time was it that I woke up? About 2 yesterday evening.
So
almost 24 hours.
Oh wow, yeah. No, you win.
That's not easy stuff.
This isn't even my final form, is all I'm saying. I've been
by the way, Julie, it is God approved. You can drink.
I am. That's cool. Thank you, man.
I like that because the God and God's there. God himself has told you.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've been up once. I was up on Divine Disbelief's channel for about 40 some odd hours.
Wow. They're cool. They're cool. They are. Divine Disbelief.
They really are. Okay.
Awesome.
I caught you. You were on. Oh gosh, who was it? Dang it.
What?
I'm sorry, I can't remember, but I caught you on, like, it was in midstream of a very long stream, but you were talking about your deconversion.
Amanda's suggesting you stand the coffee, Julie. It's up to you.
I've already had like a pot and a half of coffee, Amanda.
There we go. Dank.
Let's see here.
If I need more coffee, I'll get a whole.
I was talking about my deconversion story.
I think so. Do you remember that? We watched it. I'm not talking just to myself. My partner's in the room.
Yeah, I had a feeling Junk Shop was on the other side of you.
Say hi to Junk Shop for us.
I'm sorry. I don't. It may have been an old video that I just thought was recent and didn't look at the date. That wouldn't be the first time.
Because I mean, I've talked about it several times, and so it's always hard to always remember.
Yeah, it would help if I could remember to whom you were speaking, but I can't.
Yeah, if you knew who I was speaking to, I could definitely tell you who it was. I've been around for a minute, so I mean,
you've been out here.
Yeah, I mean, so much that at one point in time, I actually did have somebody fanboying over me, and that was the weirdest fucking thing. That person has now has me blocked, but you know.
Whoa, weird. Okay.
Yeah. No, back in the day, they were fanboying over me and Aaron because me and Aaron were in a conversation together. I've had several conversations with Aaron Raw, but me and him were in a Twitter conversation or whatever, and this person was actually fanboying over us and saying, "Oh, if I was ever be in a conversation with the two of y'all, that would just be the best thing ever, yada, yada, yada." And I didn't know how to respond to it, really, because I just think it's weird. I just would find it weird for people to fanboy over me, because I'm like, my videos are shit. Why would you do that? That's just not even. Like, don't do that.
I'd find that very strange. I mean, I'm not to that sort of level yet. I had to admit, the one time I had a talk with Aaron, it was in an after show on Hops' channel, and I was trying so hard not to fanboy. I was really trying. I don't know how well I succeeded, but I was like, just trying. Don't fanboy. I mean, the one time I probably was the other one and they're not, even though they're nowhere near as big. One time I was seriously trying not to fanboy. I was in one of Neil 604's streams, and X from Utah Outcast was in there, and I was trying not to fanboy because I was
X is
X is so cool, but I was like, I've been like a fan of Utah Outcast since like before I got on YouTube, and I was like, I'm trying not to fanboy. I'm trying not. To be honest, if X and Felicia and Carl all been in that stream, I probably would have totally marked out. But I was just like,
I've been on X's channel twice now.
Yeah,
nice.
It is really. If you want to be on X's channel, literally just tweet at him.
Yeah,
that's it. Like I sat there and fucked around with him once. I was messing with him, and I was like, oh, when are you gonna have me on your channel, X? And he's like, fucking DM me, man. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
I won't go and do that right away. Let's put it up. But yeah, that again.
Sorry.
See that ring. Yeah, those are kind of the couple of times where I've been like close to really. I'm trying desperately not to fanboy. But yeah, even like Utah Outcast, they're not like a massive channel. But I've lots of, even before I got on YouTube, I was like peripheral. I was watching them.
They're great. They are absolutely great, and
they're so underrated.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's this anyway, I don't need to tell the story, but yeah, I think I'd be okay if I like ran into Aaron Ra at a convention or something. I would just the only thing that I'd worry about me doing is trying to. I'd want to hug him. He looks like.
Hops is saying, I think I was fanboying for Aaron Ra for that whole stream.
Well,
For what stream?
I'm a hugger, and it just looks like Aaron Ra would give great hugs. You know what I mean? He just looks like a big teddy bear.
Thanks, Amiga. Yeah, anyone's not subscribed to Utah Outcasts, so Phantom, go and give them a sub. They're brilliant.
Yeah, you'll see me on there. I had fun both times I was on there. And fucking Xla's having me on there too. And then but with Aaron, like he lives about, how far is Garland? Garland's about,
state is huge.
Yeah, Garland is about is close to Austin. And Austin is about 3 to 4 hours away from me. So he is about 3 to 4 hours, give or take. And I mean, I'm pretty sure if we were ever in the same town, he'd probably go and have a beer with me.
Thank you, Stu.
Oh, Stu.
Cool. I wish I knew what that was like.
Yeah.
I really wish I did, but it just I look in the mirror and I go, holy shit.
Still has this groupies. Still is a massive sex symbol in our community.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that me and him would be just like we'd go and we'd probably have a beer together. He'd probably be a beer snob with a beer snob, and I'd be like, yeah, just give me a fucking Bud Light.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. That's the one thing when I spoke to Aaron on Hops' stream, I felt guilty because I was only drinking Stella Artois, because obviously Hops really knows his beer, and Aaron's got very much. And I like stout. I like stouts, but
Aaron is more of he's one of those like microbrew type of guys. Like he sits there and likes trying all these different beers from all these breweries and stuff. And I'm just like, give me a fucking Shiner Bock, I'd be happy.
I prefer like that stuff. Yeah, here I am drinking Heineken or whatever. And I'm gonna say, actually, this is a little
Australian wine, but I'm a middle-aged white woman, therefore my wine is in a box.
Okay. Still fanboys over my beer curtain. Just because you guys have never been on my channel, I'll explain this briefly. That sometimes when it's been night and I've been streaming or whatever, or been on the stream, I've got the curtain there. Sometimes I've got a bottle of beer or something tucked behind the curtain. So one time I just ducked behind there, grabbed a bottle of like Heineken or something out, and Still's like, Jeff's got a beer curtain.
Oh, it's been very hard for me not to fan over anybody. I mean, how am I here with all of you guys?
Anyway,
very
I love
new.
that. Thank you, Amiga.
Did you even know I existed?
This Aaron Ra you speak of? Yeah.
How am I here with you, Jimmy?
Yeah, never. Amiga, never heard of the fucking guy. Never heard of him.
Who the fuck is Aaron Ra?
Yeah.
But Junie,
who's the Undertaker of the community?
But Junie, before I came in here, did you even know who I was?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I've seen you in a couple of streams. It's just
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, like I'm usually nowhere normally these days because I sit there and a lot of the times, like especially whenever I was working, I very rarely went into streams because I was like, I'm going to work, I'm going home, I'm going to watch Netflix until I fucking pass out.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know it well.
Yeah, and so I stayed out of streams for like a long period of time, and people get to the point where they're just like, "Wait, you make videos?" And I was like, "Shut up."
Ed,
Shut up.
Ed, do not start this conversation. We're not having that on my chat. We are not having that on this channel.
I've
It's
actually
so
one of my private conversations with Arn. We talked about that.
I have my opinions on it. I'll say that much. But I think it's a daft argument to me.
I don't give a fuck.
It seems to come up. It's like a once a year thing. It comes up, almost.
But like I said, I've had the private conversation with Arn about that because it was right after the big blow up, like not too long ago, and me and him were at first going to go on his channel and talk about it, or we were going to go on some channel and talk about it, but we ended up deciding just to taking it to DMs and having it a one-on-one conversation, which I was perfectly fine with. Yeah, which I was perfectly fine with. So we sat there and had the one-on-one conversation, and I understand what he's trying to say, what he's saying about it. It's just an odd argument, in my opinion, like how he goes about it.
I don't get it. It's an argument I don't get, and I don't think philosophically it's very. And I'm no expert in philosophy, but it's a weird argument to me. And I personally don't think it's a very useful argument. But it's also not a hill I'm willing to die on.
So do you want to know what Arn meant when he
I mean,
Okay, so
please.
So what Arn means is like whenever he says rocks are atheist, he's not saying that they are atheists. Oh my God, mother!
See, that's why I don't answer every
Give me
time.
a minute.
That's
Rainbow girl over you all the time.
That's you know what that is. He just got a text from Steve McRae saying, "No, rocks are not atheist. Where's the epistemological reasons why?"
Oh,
ouch! Shots fired.
I just don't see the point in the whole discussion.
It's like the whole definition, philosophical definitions of the word atheist. I get where people are coming from on this argument. I get it. I get it. If you're going to maybe study philosophy as an academic pursuit, you kind of got to use words a certain way. But it's also, I don't know that it's a hill I want to die on. Also, the more interesting conversation would be, well, what are the logical implications of the argument? Unfortunately, it doesn't get past the damn semantics a lot of the time.
Okay, so this is why I'm going to explain his argument about this. So whenever he says rocks are atheists, he's not saying that they're atheists. He's basically saying that they're atheistic, because in which case, in that sense, yes, rocks are atheistic, but they're not atheists because atheists actually have, you have to be a person.
Yeah, you have to be cognitively aware of the proposition.
Yeah, and so and so when he says it, he's saying he's meaning atheistic, but he's just dropping the IC off the end of it.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I don't really care to know why, but that's basically what his argument is.
That'd be better though if he put that on the end, just because I think it would clear up a lot of goddamn confusion.
Yeah,
I think it would be easier to. It would be a lot easier than, because I think if he presented it in that way and just said, and I will admit, possibly Twitter is not the best medium to have this argument, or any argument on.
Twitter is like, if you're wanting a nuanced conversation, Twitter is dick all for that.
I don't know if you heard my joke when you got the phone call, but
Oh no, I didn't hear a lot of what
I just said you got the thing you had to take the phone call. And I just said, oh hello, he's just got a phone call from Steve McRae explaining why rocks are not atheists and here's the epistemological reasons why.
Right.
I don't know. I hate that conversation with that rocks are atheists when creationists believe that we're made from the dirt.
I don't really understand like philosophy, but I like listening to philosophical arguments. But I think there's definitely definitely a better medium for them than Twitter. I quite listen to the guys some answers and reason. I find them quite interesting, and I think it's better not to have this shit on Twitter. It really is, but because I think there could be some really, really interesting conversations that could happen. Unfortunately, because of Twitter, a lot of the time we don't get past the semantics of what the conversation's supposed to be, and
makes it impossible.
Yeah.
Brainbug, Mrs. Freud called your slip is showing, just so you know. He typed expire when he meant ex-wife.
Also, Manda, we will get off the rocks or atheists thing, I promise you.
That's what made me giggle while you guys were
No. Julie, did you watch the stream of myself, Quentin? I think Sam was on there. I'm trying to remember, it was Dave's critical question stream.
Yesterday?
No, this is about a month or so ago.
Okay, then you got to get more specific. What did you talk about?
Dave asked this question: what's more atheist, a rock or a can of tomato soup?
Yes, I was watching
that. My instant reaction to that was, Dave, no, we're not having this fucking conversation.
Why, Dave?
No. And it was like, that was my initial reaction to it. And then people had a couple of answers. And Bad Tempered Badger just was sitting there waiting. He says, "Can I answer this now?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, yeah." And immediately he changed his avatar to Steve McRae. He goes, "Well, the epistemological definition." And we were fucking, I was like, "Oh, it was perfect."
That is great.
I know we had this conversation in the New Year's stream too with Jen.
Yeah.
Spot on. Well done. Whew, okay, I really gotta go.
Honestly, Julie, I really am gonna have to wrap this up because I've been going
that's good because I really need to go to the ladies' room. So if we can make that happen.
Okay. Julie, just before you go, then, do you want anything you want to plug before you go?
I really do, because thank you for asking. I already did it, just forcefully, just forced it on your channel, and I'm sorry. But tomorrow there is a very special edition of Wine and Reason. One Ring 42 and I are going to talk about the seditious activity that happened last night in our nation's capital. And it's going to be an interesting perspective. I think most of you know he's a veteran, and so we're gonna talk about that. And I have a lot of news research to do. And thank you all for this discussion, because you pointed out some holes and some things that I haven't that I thought I knew the answer to that I do not. So thank you. So that'll be at noon Central Standard Time. That's it.
All right.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks, Jenny. Do you got something you want to plug? Anything?
Well, subscribe to all of you guys. And I don't know any sooner project other than the Sunday services, but I was thinking of doing a comparison, and people might hate me for this, of the new Nintendo Land that came out in Japan versus the Ark Encounters of Kent Hovind. So I think Ark and Ham. So I can't conflict using those two.
They're easy to.
It's easy to tell.
They're both just as bad. But
Yeah, they're both terrible. But
I'll just say very quickly then that last time I streamed, it was just a kind of a hangout like today. I had One Ring and Sam in the chat, and they were talking Dungeons and Dragons, which I don't know a lot about. I do not know much about D&D, and I just suggested something as a campaign and now at some point it's going to happen, or as a one shot. And the idea is the party is going to invade Dinosaur Adventureland to try and find Kent Hovind's tax returns.
Yes. Oh, I want in.
Yes.
It was something that I said as a joke, and that the two D&D players, Ring and Sam, were like, "We could do something with this."
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
That would be.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing about D&D is that you can have a D&D campaign about just about fucking everything.
Absolutely.
I got to say, it's only about a month.
Very thin without anyone knowing it.
This is the thing. I burst my D&D cherry about at Halloween this year. It's the first time I'd ever played it, and I still don't understand the game. But it was like I just. Okay, I'm up, but I got enough of it to think, yeah, I want to give this another go. It's,
Don't worry, I've never played. I've watched people play, but apparently there's a movie for it too.
It's so bad.
No, I haven't watched that. I remember the cartoon series in the 1980s, but
there have been a couple of movies based on Dungeons and Dragons, and they're terrible.
I'll keep this going until Frustrated Atheist is off the phone and he can.
Oh yeah, for sure. But, and they're not like, oh, so bad it's good. They're just bad. And that's what sucks, because they could have either been like, they had the budget and some of the actors were decent, so it's one of those really frustrating things to watch, especially when it's made about something that you love. Like I love D&D, and it's just like, why is this so bad? And if you were gonna make it this bad, why didn't you just go full cheeseball with it? Like why you tried to make a good movie and you made a shitty movie, and that just sucks. And that,
This is what happens with people with money who don't know about a subject, or and with people with money in general when they don't use their money properly.
Exactly. Know your audience, bitches. It's not that hard. Like, just know your audience. Like I would never. I would not try to do a stream about physics, not because of, actually that's not because of my audience, that's because of me. But don't do math.
Sorry, that time it was my sister who called because my nephews are trying to go over to my mom's house, and that means I have to clean out the backseat of my truck.
Okay. Cool. Well, just quickly plug yourself before we end this.
I'm me. Go check me out places, and I'll probably be doing something somewhere. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Always nice to see you, man.
You too, Julie.
Yeah. Not. By the way, Russ and Jenny, I think it's the first time either of you've been on my channel. So
yes. Thanks
for coming on. Always happy to have you.
It was a very honor. It was.
It's not an honor being on this channel. It really isn't.
I like it.
Okay, for myself, I don't have any videos planned at the same time. At the moment, I'm trying to pursue a couple of people that I want to get on for interviews at some point. However, on Sunday at 1 p.m. UK time, so I think that's like 8 a.m. Eastern, I'll be doing a stream with Hissy, aka Noodle. We're going to restart our Asterix de Gaulle streams for the New Year's, where I believe we're doing Asterix in some, but I believe it's on Noodle's channel this time because we take it in turns to host these. So that's kind of what I got going up. And yeah, the link to my Patreon is in the description. Thanks, Megan, Nuts as well. So Okay, so I'm going to sign off then.
Before we do go, I do have one video that's going to come out sometime this week, and it's about pretty much debunking the whole entire Antifa was behind the attack on the Capitol.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah.
Okie doke. So I will bring this to an end now then, because we've been going for 3. We're getting on the 4-hour mark, so I am going to draw it to a close. So thanks very much, guys. Take care of yourself. Hope to see you down the road. Okay. Salute.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.